Welcome to the Deeper Issues Nerdcast. On tonight's episode, the Oscars omit some key names from their In Memoriam. Shrek 5 gets backlash from Shrekies Online. The director of Long Legs wants to make a Darth Vader movie, and we're reading Geoff Johns' Redcoat from Ghost Machine and Image. So stick around because your fandom awaits.
Fantasies of God, fantasies.
Wake up, guys.
Wake up, everybody. Come on. It's new comic book. It must be this rainy Southern California weather. It's new comic book day. It's Ash Wednesday. Rare rainy day here in Southern California. Welcome to the place where we think all the deep thoughts about all the shallow things until we're put below the ground and turned into, I messed that up. Turned into worm food till we're dead, till we've died. Welcome to the Deeper Issues Nerdcast. Changing things up a little bit here. We're evolving the show, okay? So if this is your first time joining us, this is the show where we take your weekly geeky zeitgeist and translate it into Muggle speak. We'll deep dive into the latest movies, TVs, gaming, comics, or whatever weird thing internet nerds are fighting about now, and nerd-splain it. In other words, no nerdy background necessary to hang out. Whether you can recite the entire history of Middle-earth from memory, or you just found out that Doctor Strange is not a medical drama, myself and my panel of nerd-splainers have a PhD in pop culture in order to be your geeky guides to discovering what kind of nerd you really are. So welcome to the gateway to all things nerdy, no gatekeeping allowed. Welcome to the Deeper Issues Nerdcast.
Thank you, Ned Flanders.
Too much. This week's panel of nerd-splainers, we're down one. We're down to three. I mean, we're down Tommy Geoff. So I'm going to get that out of the way now. If you're here to see Tommy Geoff, I apologize. He's in Chicago dealing with deep dish pizza business, Chicago business, Godzilla maybe. My panel of nerd-splainers, geeky aficionados, the Nerdcast Council, the dorky devotees, the freaky fanatics, the unconventional conventionalists. To my left, always working way more than she should and not getting paid enough for it. Olivia, Diddy, the good Diddy King.
Thank you.
The right hand here at the Deeper Issues Nerdcast, the man with way too many handles for me to list off the top of my head, so we're only going to go with Tie Photography. The man handling the decks, has the Highlander playing behind him, wears his sunglasses inside because fuck you, society. Mr. Tie died. Tie. Tyler.
Oh.
According to what your mom wants us to call you.
All right.
Ciao. Welcome. So let's get, I guess, started into the show. This is a show all about learning, whether you're learning about something that we have to nerd-splain or whether we're learning about what nerds are angry about online. Before we dive into all of our news, before we dive into our comic book, we're still talking comic books, by the way. Like I said, there's a little bit of a change. We are going to be focusing on Redcoat tonight by Geoff Johns and Ghost Machine. If I could find it. I thought I had it over here. Do I not? I messed up. Oh, look, Diddy's got a single issue. The trade dropped this week. We have a trade. But this is Redcoat by the folks over at Ghost Machine, Geoff Johns, Brian Hitch, Andrew Curry, Brad Anderson, and Rob Lee. This is pretty awesome because you may have heard a lot of these names when it comes to DC Comics, specifically things like Blackest Night. And what's the other one? Maybe like the Green Lantern Rebirth.
Yeah, I was just gonna say Rebirth.
Yeah, Brightest Day was one of the. I mean, Infinity War. No, I'm sorry.
Infinite Crisis.
Infinite Crisis. Man, there's too many infinites. Here.
They're
Infinite amount.
Yeah, infinite amount of infinites. Those names sound familiar if you're familiar with DC comic books. We'll kind of explain a little bit more on that because that's what we do here. We're going to nerd-splain it all to you. But they now have their own little publishing company. This team of Ghost Machine and published and distributed by Image. We're going to dive into that as well as today's haul. But before we get into that and then the weekly news, we're going to go to a little segment called What Did We Learn This Week? Ty, we always kick it off with Diddy. Let's switch it up.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
Ty, what did you learn
Yeah.
this week while I finagle with this camera?
What did I learn this week? I learned my luck is finally coming back.
Everything is
Everything
coming up,
Millhouse. No, I was telling the crew this. I have not had the best luck in terms of like getting concert tickets for like the longest time. Normally, obviously, I go to a lot of concerts, or I used to. I haven't been able to secure a whole lot of concert tickets as of late. But my favorite band, Bring Me the Horizon, they are going on tour this fall in America for their Ascension tour with The Plot Anew and Motionless in White. Again, we're not getting paid to say this. I would love for them to sponsor me. But yeah, I was able to secure tickets, and it was the weirdest thing. Like, you know, it's always a good sign when you jump in line in Ticketmaster and you're not like number 50,000, right? I
Right.
was like 1,400, and I was like, okay, well, it's at the Intuit Dome. I've never been to the Intuit Dome.
Man.
Where's that?
It's right next to the SoFi Stadium, and it's interesting. Jared, my buddy, went, and he was telling me like everything's automated. Like you have to use their app,
Yes.
and then you have when you walk in, everything's automated. It's like if you like go to the snack bar, grab some snack, it's automatically deducted from your account.
Yeah, you have
Oh.
to set stuff. Yeah, it's like the freaking stadium of the future. I went to go see the Netflix Raw debut there,
Oh, okay, yeah.
and that was my first time there.
Mhm.
And yes, you have to download an app. What's crazy is you have to upload your face to the app. There's
That's
a
what
lot.
he was saying.
Yeah.
I don't
There's a
know.
Oh,
lot
Lord.
of Big
Oh, no.
Brothers all up in Uranus at the Inuit Dome.
They
or
want to
Intuit Dome.
So do you still have to wait in line or like,
Yes. So here's the crazy part about it. You
what the
scan.
hell?
You can scan your face with your ticket, and you don't even have to show your ticket. Like it'll just scan your face and it'll associate it to your ticket.
Oh, definitely Big Brother, huh?
Yeah, and exactly that. Like
They want my taxes, and now
they want blood type, urine sample. No, they also you upload a card, and then you can just walk and grab stuff, and then as you exit the area, it just charges you.
Huh.
Master Shake 61. Sorry, that's why I've been
Okay.
finagling.
Good
with,
job.
with my laptop over here. That's why I'm not on the switcher as much. I'm here for Pablo's heel turn.
No heel turn for me this week, sir.
But yeah, I was able to get. Long story short, I was able to get VIP tickets.
Oh.
Super stoked. A lot of backlash on that because there's no like meet and greet, which I didn't think they were gonna do.
Oh.
But and Pablo, I was gonna ask your opinion on this because I got Jared's opinion on this. How is the sound quality there at Intuit Dome? I heard it's delayed.
I watched Raw there. I watched wrestling, so it wasn't. I didn't experience that at all. I would imagine there's such a like high tech place. Also, I can tell you, no matter where anybody sat for Monday Night Raw, like every ticket in that place was awesome.
Oh.
It's a very kind of intimate feeling area. I don't know.
But from my understanding with wrestling, they're in the center and you surround it.
Yes,
But at a concert, you don't surround them.
that's
front
true. There's
facing.
a stage, and
Right.
yeah, it's different.
Because I got screwed over for MCR when they came back.
Which
I
which
was in the
concert
back.
should take a note from wrestling? That's way
Yeah,
freaking cooler.
Should be in the middle. Yeah.
I would love it. I know, like,
And
for-
they should beat each other up.
yeah, halfway through the set.
Absolutely. I mean, Travis Scott fucking slapped the shit out of Cody Rhodes this week.
Hell
Tune into
yeah.
the abdominal stretch where we'll discuss that in more detail. By the way,
What are you doing with
Saturdays here at the Deeper Issues Nerdcast.
Hell yeah. What are you doing with that special sock of yours over there?
This is funny. Somebody commented on this sock. We're not sponsored by these people, but we should be
You
sponsored.
should be, I know.
Nerd Wax.
Wax.
Yeah. Makes these things and it looks like a dirty sock. But it's a fun gag whenever I have to clean my glasses or my lenses for my cameras, and I'll
Mhm.
pull it out and I'll be like, oh, or when somebody asks me to take a picture, I'm like, your camera lens is dirty. And then I pull this out of my pocket and I'm like, let me wipe it down. And then I usually get a lot
That's
of look.
funny. I want to see.
It's actually their microfibers are super
It's
nice.
nice, right?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
a really, really nice microfiber.
It's funny, but I don't like it
I
because it really does look dirty.
Nerd wax. Yeah, I have one that looks like a steak. I have one that looks like a yeah, just clean your disgusting phone on the thing I clean my eyeball lenses with.
I just cleaned my phone.
No, just kidding. I don't care.
Phone is not disgusting.
But they have some that look like underwear.
Yeah,
I have some-
tacos.
yeah, taco VHS,
Family
greasy
to be.
pizza.
That's funny.
But the sock is the one. The sock is definitely the thing. It's just like, come on, how do you not? How's that? And I think, yeah, our thumbnail last week was me with this sock or something.
Yeah, it
and-
was like on you, like a 2319.
Yeah. Well, that was the joke that week was the get your special sock out
Yeah.
He-Man nerds because the He-Man thing.
Oh yeah.
But that's just a Deadpool line. I just stole that.
Yeah.
But yeah, Intuit Domes.
Into it. Dumb. Okay, I'll check it out.
So
I'm-
your
I'm
luck
excited.
is back though, Ty. You're saying
Hey, knock on wood. All right. I mean,
Yeah.
hopefully
it's a new day for
it's
Ty.
a new day.
That's awesome though.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm super stoked. My anxiety was through the roof. If I did not get those tickets,
Yeah.
I missed out on like 5 other shows.
I feel like you just
already.
saw them.
Yeah, dude. You go to like concerts like friggin' 3 times a week, man.
Okay, hold on. That was when I had a job.
This is your job.
This is
now.
my job
Yeah.
now. Yeah. I did see them last year at what is it called? Sick New World. And
Oh.
I did see them at Sick New World, and then I think I saw them somewhere else as well.
I have heard a few of their songs,
Mhm.
but I'm like an old man now where I'm like, I can't listen to this newfangled music. I don't know.
They were around when you were.
Yeah, I mean they've been around for
They've been
some
around.
time.
Yeah.
But
I saw them at the Troubadour,
Oh yeah.
I'm so jealous.
like
That is
way,
amazing.
way in high school. I saw them
Yeah.
there. It was crazy.
I do like the cover of that Ed Sheeran.
Oh yeah, their collab with him.
Yeah, their collab with Ed Sheeran.
They
I don't
did that
even
at-
like Ed Sheeran.
Yeah,
I'm not
same.
like jamming out to Ed Sheeran all the time, but that
That's not what I heard.
That's what the fuck, dude?
That's
Not
not
on
what his
camera.
algorithm shows us on a.
I have been
IG.
jamming out to Blues Traveler a lot, but that's a whole different topic.
Whoa, you're in your dad era for sure.
I'm
Oh,
so in my dad
man.
era. Their stuff's good, okay? Blues Traveler is good. I
Thank
don't care what anybody says. Yeah, all right. So Ty's luck's back.
Hopefully, we'll see.
Yeah. You should have been like, I learned how to hack the Ticketmaster system. That
I
would've been
wish.
Yeah.
I wish. I missed out on Alicia Cara tickets already. So as long as I got Bring Me, I'm good.
But definitely get all of your stuff ready for the Intuit Dome.
Yes.
yeah.
I'm like, I probably should buy parking now because I know that's like a thing too now.
Where is it in LA?
It's literally like next to the SoFi Stadium.
I don't know
in
where that's at.
Inglewood,
Oh, okay.
in the wood.
in the wood.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Next
yeah.
to the Kia Forum. It's like the 3 of them are like in a little.
Okay. I've been to the Kia Forum.
Yeah. It's like literally across the street.
Definitely buy parking.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna have to do
Because
that.
I bought the parking that was like $100,
Oh, fuck.
but it's like right there, like well, you can walk right into that whole little area.
Oh,
For
nice.
Raw, it was dope. I don't know if I would go like. I don't know if I like that level of like having to be as involved in an app and my smart device and my tracking and all my information and all stuff.
Yeah, same.
So I mean, like I'm obviously just a big wrestling mark. So I was like, all right, well, fuck it, you got me. All right.
I mean, that's what I'm gonna have to do. They're gonna give me instructions out for the VIP instructions, so I'm probably
Yeah.
gonna have to get there early anyway.
I don't know if I would go see anything else there unless it was like, even if like Raw came back, I don't know if I would go there
Really?
because this was
I
like
can't believe you went to Raw without me. What the hell?
and Bob
I know.
and
But
Bob.
Bob called me and was like, "Oh, you should have been there." And I was like, "Don't talk to me."
Yeah, Bob was eating.
I know.
we
he
saw-
was super into it.
Funny story. It was like, and yeah, it was the first episode of Monday Night Raw on Netflix. It was on
Mhm.
January 6th. Crazy.
Oh,
But so I'm just trying to reassociate that date with something positive.
nice.
And that was like the first time ever that somebody, I guess, openly smoked weed on WWE television because
Oh, really?
Travis Scott
Oh.
walked. I don't know if they knew this or not, but Travis Scott walked out Jey Uso, who's like one of their more
Yeah.
popular wrestlers. Jey Uso's The Rock's cousin, Rikishi. If you guys remember Rikishi's
Mhm.
son, he's part of this like Samoan dynasty family, and he's super entertaining. And everybody gets into his entrance, and everybody like
Oh,
does the hip hop hands
Mhm.
and his phrase is yeet. And if you don't watch wrestling, but before his theme music hit in the crowd, like the lights dropped and that famous Travis Scott song
yeah.
played, right? And then the lights come up and Travis Scott is standing because Jay Uso comes from the crowd. He walks down through the crowd
Mm.
right in the middle of everybody. But Travis Scott is standing there with a blunt in his hand. His song is playing, just gives no fucks, takes a hit of the blunt. And yeah, and it was funny because at the press conference afterwards, the chief creative officer, Triple H, was like, I just want to thank Jey Uso for just saying no. So they like acknowledged it in a kind of funny way. And I think
Yeah.
even
Yeah.
one of the announcers was like, oh, he's got the sage in his hand. Which is funny because also this past week, Travis Scott came out with The Rock during
hmm
the epic John Cena heel turn, which we will discuss on the abdominal stretch Saturdays here on the Deep Issues Nerdcast. You're like, I'm just gotta plug it.
I
Gotta
learned
plug it all.
I learned
Yeah.
what that meant today.
The heel turn.
Yes.
Yeah,
Oh,
Ty
yeah.
learned the term heel. It's a wrestling bad guy.
It's not just a part of the body.
No, well, that's a lot of wrestling terminology is like carny terminology, as
Mhm.
weird as that is.
Yeah,
Like-
heel.
And con old timey mobster terminology. So when like they talk about the term mark, which is what is often a reference to a wrestling fan,
Mhm.
is because you know what movie does this really good? What's it called? Fuck, what's it? It's Christian Bale and Bradley Cooper and Amy Adams, and Christian Bale is
Oh, the Warrior? No.
no man, American Hustle.
Yes.
American Hustle. They use the term mark a lot too because
okay.
con artists would be like, that's your mark.
Yeah.
Because this is the person that you're going to pull this con on, because it used to be a strongman competition and it was a fixed fight to where somebody from the audience would come in and be like, I'm going to fight the strongman. And then they'd put the bets on the strongman because he just saw the strongman beat a bunch of people.
Yeah.
And then the guy in the crowd beats the strongman. And the people who bet on the strongman
Yeah.
were the marks, were the victims of the con. And even like in the movie American Hustle, they use mark, they use sell. You have to sell it. You have to sell this. You have to, if you're not believing it, if you're not selling it, they're not going to believe it. That's like some con artist terminology. So a lot of wrestling terminology comes from carny and like old, like fixed sort of thing. So heel is like, the person's a real heel. You know what I'm saying? That's like an old timey phrase. And then baby face, your white meat baby face. So yeah, that was, the heel, the John Cena heel turn is echoing throughout the internet right now.
So sick.
Yeah, crazy. All the-
Really crazy.
well, somebody think of the children.
Somebody-
Diddy, what did you learn this week?
Well, I didn't learn shit. But I do have an update about my possum friend.
Please.
I haven't fed him since we all talked it over.
So you got peer pressure?
But it wasn't for a lack of trying though. He just didn't come visit me anymore.
Okay, yeah,
so
that's
I just
right.
haven't seen him around. But I went to bed super early the other night and then I heard my dog barking at like 3 a.m. I like ran down there. And old boy's in the kitchen. Just came
Oh.
right into
The
my house.
possum is.
Yeah.
You got
Just came right into
Tommy
my house.
Jeff, if you were watching, if Tommy Jeff were here right now, he would be giving you a big ol' I told you so.
Told you so.
Yeah.
Came right in my house.
Yeah, he gave
And
no
and
fucks.
Gypsy was losing her mind barking at him. And I came down there and I was like, "What are you doing, bud?" I was like, "Get out of here." And he just looked at me like, "What's up? Where's the food?" And I was like, "Oh, I can't give you food. Now you're like in my house. You came through the doggy door." I had to get him out.
He came in through the doggy door.
Mhm.
That's cute.
It was very cute. It was hard not to give him food. I was like, "You're so smart."
How'd you get in here, you little smarty?
Yeah, and he wasn't afraid of me. He like let me pick him up and put him outside. And then I shut the door and he sat outside the door looking in for like an hour. I was like, "Oh,
No way.
breaking my heart." It was so sad.
He's manipulating you.
He was. It might have not been the same guy.
It might.
I think it was.
He just told somebody about you. He was
Yeah.
just like,
He's like, hey, there's the mark.
Yeah.
there's the.
There's the mark.
I'm
There's the
learning.
mark.
I'm learning.
Oh
learning.
man, that possum went baby face on you. And then bam, heel turn. He's in your house. In your house, an old WWF pay-per-view. We're tying this all
Damn.
together.
Boom.
Watch the abdominal stretch Saturday mornings here on the Deep Issues Nerdcast.
Well, so I learned I'm a mark.
Yeah,
for
you are.
possums.
You're a
Yeah.
possum mark.
I'm a possum mark.
Fuck, those possums got you.
Yeah.
Got him.
Yeah.
They played the long game.
but he didn't get any food.
He did play the long game.
What'd
Wow.
you learn, Pablo?
Fuck, I am so not prepared for today's episode.
Like you say that
That's what
every
you
episode.
learned?
Yeah. I don't know, man. It's been
You've been busy, man.
Yeah, you've been real busy.
I have been busy.
You went to a disco party.
Yeah. I learned there we go. That I learned that just a set of sunglasses and the right jacket can make you look like a 1970s coke dealer. No joke.
No, I saw the pictures.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everybody was like, "Wow, you look like you should be in Scarface right now. You should look like you should be just selling cocaine." Either that or I got the other thing I got was 70s used car salesman. And the other thing is I did
I was gonna say Kingpin.
yeah. Oh, hey, I'll take
Yeah.
it. I had like a big gold pinky ring, so I was
Oh,
doing like the
jeez.
Well, that'll
poly
do it.
walnuts.
That'll do it.
So I was talking to people like this all night. I was like, "Hey, listen here,
Stop
buddy.
it.
Hey, listen up."
Did you grow out your nail too?
No, I was disappointed. Somebody said that I should have done that.
Should
I'm
have
like,
got the fake nail. Just put it on there.
that would have been good.
Been like
I should,
Hindsight.
you know,
Yeah.
and then just walked around. And then somebody, Chandra, was actually like, she's like, "You should carry around a little baggie of like baby
Baking
powder."
soda?
I'm like, it does. Even if I did that, like, what if we got pulled over? How would I explain it? Be like, no, it's it's baking soda. It's part of the costume. I'm not gonna have to explain that fake bag of Coke to somebody. So I did. I omitted the fake bag of Coke from the costume, but
right.
yeah.
I
maybe-
mean, you could have done like powdered sugar. At least they could taste it. I wouldn't do baby
Yeah,
powder. I don't know why that was
take
the
your
option.
finger and just taste it. I swear to God, it's just sugar.
Please,
Yeah.
officer, please. I promise.
I swear.
Just have a taste.
just taste it. But I wish I'd remembered the name of the shop. It was in the Orange Circle that I bought this jacket from. The guys there were so friendly. It was a vintage clothing shop.
Oh, and the orange circle, that narrows it down.
Yeah, I know. Right? I was just there too.
Yeah. Dang it. Let me see. It's like a men's one. Not Groovy Ghost. Not Elsewhere. Joyride.
Mm.
Actually-
Oh, I've seen that place.
Joyride.
I know Groovy goes.
So no, I can't recommend Joyride enough. Actually, Joyride Vintage for Men
Okay.
in the Orange Circle, 109 West Chapman Avenue in Orange, California. If you guys haven't been in the Orange Circle, it's here in Orange County. It's just a nice little pocket where they filmed Small Soldiers. The Toy Story Small Soldiers was filmed in the Orange Circle. That Thing You Do was filmed there because it's very historic, really cool area. But Joyride is just like vintage men's fashion, and I was just like scrambling. Luckily, I
Mhm.
already had that shirt because I own, a freaking plethora of goofy shirts. And I was like, I just need something that's gonna make me look 70s. I walked in there. The guys are really freaking nice, and kind of helped me put together the ensemble based on the
Nice.
shirt that I had.
Nice.
And the glasses made it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Like the yellow glasses, I was like, this is the thing.
That's the move.
That's the move. That's the thing that makes it. How did Redcoat end up on my lap? Did I actually have this here the
You
entire
had
time?
it the entire time.
Is that the trade?
Yeah,
That's
this
the
is
trade.
what dropped this week, by the way. I don't know. I was
I
like,
saw it on your lap, but I didn't want to say anything. I was like, well, I guess he just wants the single issue.
it is the trade. This is why we're talking about this today. This is what we'll be talking about at the end of the episode. Yeah, that's what I learned.
Nice.
Nice.
Thank you for reminding me about
You're
that because
welcome.
I had nothing, no preparation. For
Well,
this.
I got a text from him. He's like, hey, do you want to go to a disco?
Oh, yeah,
party?"
yeah. Well,
And I was
Where are
just
my texts at for Raw, for Disco?
okay, so they do this every first Saturday of the month at the Queen Mary. That's where it was at. It was at the Queen Mary Hotel
okay.
in
Fun.
Long Beach, California. Every first Saturday of the month, their bar has just like a disco DJ.
Fun.
It was, and I'm just, and then afterwards we got nice and drunk, and we went just like walked around the Queen Mary ghost hunting.
Oh, I was at
Oh.
Universal Studios anyway.
Oh yeah, it's true.
But
Maybe next Saturday, next month. It's cool. We stayed there before. I freaking love the Queen Mary.
I love the Queen Mary.
But then what's weird is that it's also Long Beach, and I don't know if there's like some rooms that they're just trying to book out, and there's like giving good rates, but like on the lower decks, there's like weird, Long Beach gutter
Prices?
punk people that
Oh.
Oh.
they're probably like smoking meth and their things. But if you're staying in the night, it's very luxurious. And then also they have a brunch.
Oh.
Mhm.
It's like a $90 brunch.
They have like a jazz brunch.
But I kid you not, it's one of the best brunches I've ever had.
Mm-hmm.
It's
I had a
top
friend that
tier
used to work
brunch.
there.
Yeah. Yeah, and they have it's like a jazz brunch.
Jazz brunch.
And they have everything.
Mm-hmm.
They have like snow crab legs. I'm like, what the fuck? Who's got snow crab and brunches like this? But it's really cool. Anyways, yeah, cool. Do we get into news and stuff now?
Let's do it.
Yeah.
We're not journalists, but we keep our ears to the nerdy streets. Sometimes we read articles, sometimes we read headlines. Most of the times, just the headlines. Most of the times, coming from our doom scrolling online. This is news and stuff. The Oscars happened. Are you guys aware of the Oscars, by the way?
Yes.
Yes.
Have you heard of these Oscars, these Academy Awards?
Yes.
Um,
That was my Sunday.
That was my Sunday too. It's like my Super Bowl.
did you guys watch?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I asked for the day off.
Did you really?
Yeah.
Oh.
To watch the Oscars?
I did. I don't care.
Like live? Like you're like
Yeah,
actually
I watched
watching
them
it?
live.
I feel like it's so like bought and paid for.
It is.
It is.
It's such bullshit.
You know, but so is the Super Bowl, okay? And do I rag on you for that? Yes. But
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Well, the Oscars happened. A lot of interesting. I guess who won Best Picture was
Honora.
Sonora,
Sean Baker, right?
best
Mhm.
director,
And best editing,
and original screenplay.
original screenplay,
And
and
actress.
best actress. Yeah.
Yeah. He won all the things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shout out to Sean Baker. Actually,
Yeah, dude.
that
Yeah.
dude's amazing. I remember when the movie Tangerine came out,
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
and I can easily like put that in like one of my favorite films of all time.
Oh, okay.
Not just that, not because it's just a really good, fun, entertaining, raw, gritty movie, but because if you see what he shot that movie on an iPhone 5S,
hmm
and it was like a micro budget film. I think they shot it for like $100,000.
Yeah.
The donut shop that they shot it at, there was a famous donut shop on the corner of Santa Monica and is that Vine or Highland? Now there's like a Trejo's Donuts.
hmm
They like revitalized it, but it was a seedy little donut shop.
Yeah.
The donut shop was strictly there for drug deals. It felt like and sex workers, and that's kind of what the movie's about.
That's his whole thing.
But he shot it on an iPhone 5S, a smoothie, some decent lights, some
Yeah.
some decent
Yeah.
little audio equipment, and just good
He's a
story and good
champion of
talent.
the indie filmmaking for sure.
100%.
Yeah, Florida Project, same thing too. He
Mhm.
kind of mastered or showed people because that year at Sundance, that movie was all the rage. They were like, "What the fuck? Like, how did
Yeah.
this guy make this movie at this budget, this
Yeah.
quality?"
Honora too. I mean, it is his biggest budget that he's ever had, but it was still like under $1 million.
Yeah.
Great,
Yeah.
thank you,
I know. It's
Sean
amazing.
Baker, because that makes, first of all, it brings back almost the like the awesomeness of the innovation behind filmmaking.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
there's a point where you're like, well, what else can people do anymore with filmmaking? Like the
Unless you
chat-
have millions and millions of dollars.
exactly,
Where do you even start?
exactly.
So he is really a champion of that,
Yeah,
which is awesome.
and I love that. And then didn't Tarantino present him the?
Yeah.
Yes, he did.
Yeah. And he said that there would have been no Honora without him having seen
Mikey Madison.
Mikey
in
Madison
Once Upon a Time in
from
Hollywood.
Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's right.
She's like, if I didn't see her in that movie, I wouldn't have gotten this like idea because she was like the muse for the character and everything.
Well, the Oscars had. Well, I guess what we should talk about. The Oscars had an in memoriam, and it seemed like they missed a lot of.
Yeah, they do this every
Names.
year. Every
They-
year they leave out a ton of people, or some years they'll just have somebody singing and they'll like keep zooming in on them and they won't show like the screen of the people, and it's like, why are you showing
Yeah.
Queen Latifah singing right now? I want to see like
The
the
in
people who
memoriam.
died and like pay respect to them, but they always leave out a ton of people. This year they left out Michelle Trachtenberg,
Trachtenberg. Yeah, Michelle
Uh,
Trachtenberg,
Shannon Doherty,
Tony
Tony Todd.
Yeah.
Just that's a few of the names.
That's a
I think
few.
that's a few of the bigger profile
Mm-hmm.
names that they missed out on. I mean, Tony Todd, Candyman.
Candy.
It
Yeah.
was. I don't know, like, were they snubbing like a horror movie, which is weird because horror movies, I feel like have kind of gotten a little bit more leeway at the Oscars as of late. I don't know, Michelle Trachtenberg. I don't-
Freaking Harriet the Spy.
yeah, I don't, and then
Yeah.
Harriet the fucking
Harriet
Spy,
the
y'all.
Spy.
The
That's
Ice Princess. How are you gonna do the Ice Princess like that?
And then Shannon Doherty as well,
And
right?
Shannon
Like, how
Doherty.
are you omitting those three names? Somebody said that I didn't watch the Oscars, but they were like, oh, they didn't have David Lynch. I'm like, how the fuck do you not have David Lynch in there?
They had David Lynch. They just didn't do like anything special like for him.
which is
Which-
also crazy.
It's crazy because usually they'll do like not like anybody's one person's bigger than the other, but his film contribution is like crazy. And I mean, like what they did, for Morgan Freeman came out and introduced them in memoriam, but he did it by like paying respect to Gene Hackman, who just passed away.
Yeah.
And people are saying, oh, they should have had like Isabella Rossellini come out and do that same thing, but for David Lynch, you know?
Absolutely.
But I mean, we lost like a lot of really giants this year, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like you
And
can't,
James Earl Jones.
James Earl Jones, Maggie Smith,
Yeah.
you can't do that for every single person. But I mean, come on. You're not going to do anything. You're not even going to like, I don't know. I was pissed.
Yeah, I'm sure you were. I think David Lynch for sure, had such an influence
Mhm.
in the industry and filmmaking in general that I don't understand why.
And he just got an honorary Oscar like a year ago or something. So it's like, show us that footage or anything.
That
It's
you
crazy.
think they were like, no, we'll give him the honorary Oscar last year. He's fine.
He's fine.
He went out with the honorary Oscar.
Yeah, I don't know what they think. It's so weird. Every year I'm like, let me produce the show.
Yeah.
I don't know what they. Yeah, and then I think
They
sometimes
do weird stuff every year.
Yeah, what the fuck, Oscars?
Like last year, they had every single song that was nominated for best song be performed, and I'm like,
Oh,
am I watching the
yeah.
fucking Grammys right now or the
That's
Oscars? It was
oh
so
yeah, they had
weird.
Ken.
And then everyone complains about how long it is, but then you're gonna like, I don't know. Like this year, they did like a 5-minute long tribute to 007, which they just did last year.
Why did they do that?
I don't know.
I have a theory.
What's the theory?
I think so.
Amazon money.
Amazon, yeah.
Amazon money.
No, 100%
Yeah.
Amazon money. But I'm like, is this their little like? I don't want to say like tryout or audition for the next Bond girl.
Oh, because they had Margaret Qualley come out
and then they
do
had
that.
other people come up, and then they had different artists come up to do the songs for James
Yeah.
Bond. I'm like, are you trying to find the next artist who's going to do the next Bond song?
Well, if they do that, it should be Ray. She killed it, but still, it was weird.
It was weird.
They just did something like that last year for 007
Mhm.
too. I'm like, what is the deal with 007? I don't understand.
I mean, I agree with Pablo. I think it's Amazon money.
Amazon money.
They're just like, oh,
It's like
well,
an ad.
yeah,
inside.
It really was.
Remember that year they did an ad for the Little Mermaid?
Yes.
I was like, what the hell? What are we doing here?
Like the movie or the
Yeah, they had
Yeah.
like 2 people come out and like introduce the trailer for Little Mermaid, and they showed it at the Oscars, and it was like, what?
Then it's definitely just money.
It's
and
just money.
marketing.
It's
It's
just
just money.
ads. It's just annoying.
It
It's
is
like if you
annoying.
just took that 5 minutes you spent on this weird 007 fucking Doja Cat coming out and everything, it's like take that time and like make the in memoriam more special.
Right.
That's what I think.
And put Tony Todd in there. I feel like that's
Put
major
Tony Todd
disrespect.
in there.
And
All
it's
of those people are
disrespect.
disrespectful. It's crazy.
And Trachtenberg and Shannon Doherty. Like
Yeah,
that's-
and I
They
mean,
didn't
there's
do
a
Ken Page either.
that was the other. That's
didn't
what
do-
shocked me.
they
How do
didn't
you
do
not
Ken
have
Page.
Ken Page in there?
Right.
Page is crazy.
That trips me out because, like, come on, y'all. That's it.
That was the big one I saw. I was like looking through that. I was like, hey, wait a minute, we're missing somebody. And then someone posted. I was like, yo.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
there's a lot of oh, apparently too, I'm just looking right now. Tony Todd's family, according to TMZ, is fuming
Oh,
Mm.
yeah. I would be too.
over the
Rightfully
Oscar
so.
snub.
Rightfully so.
I'm sinking into this couch. I'm sorry. My
Yeah, it's
tailbone.
fine. Yeah, he was a Candyman. He was the guy in Final Destination. He was like the devil in Final Destination kind of thing. Look, he's got his place in cinema history, right? And Ken Page,
Yeah.
this is crazy. I think there were some other names that kind of stuck out to me as well. I'm sorry. Look, we're just as bad as the Oscars over here.
We're leaving the people who are left out.
Yeah.
Again.
I'm forgetting the people who were forgotten.
That's terrible.
No, but I mean, look, because I'm not the Academy. Okay, this
Yeah.
isn't my job to sit here and be like, hey, these are. But I can recognize that. Hey, there's some pretty substantial names that you should not have missed. And you have. Ginny's having trouble with the microphone. What's going on?
It's good. Everything's
okay?
fine. Thanks for cutting to me, though.
Yeah,
Yeah.
welcome. I was like, what's going on over there?
We had to get that shot.
Yeah.
Love that for me.
The other crazy. We'll stick on to the Oscar subject. A couple of other, but there was this Diddy, right? You were
Oh, I
talking
love
about-
this.
This was the David Lynch tribute that maybe we really needed from
We
the
did.
Oscars.
I loved it so much. And she got a lot of like screen time too because she was nominated for best supporting actress. So she was seen a lot doing that tribute. She's wearing the dress.
What? I'm so sorry.
From Blue
What was she
Velvet.
in? Not Blue
She was in
Velvet.
Conclave.
Okay, that's
this
what it
year.
was. It was Conclave. And then we also got this photo.
Yeah, Laura Dern and Isabella Rossellini sat together too.
Yeah, I was like, that's the
Which
girl
was
from
so
Jurassic
nice.
Park.
Oh my god.
Right?
Yeah,
Put respect on her name.
they should have for sure done a little something more for David Lynch, right? Just
Yeah.
basically,
If anything, I think that they should have come out and introduced the in memoriam, like how Morgan Freeman did
Yeah.
about Gene Hackman.
and
It's also Gene Hackman died like 4 days ago. You know?
Yeah.
I mean, that doesn't make it less important, but I mean, I don't know.
if for some reason you're wondering the significance to this blue dress here, by the way, this is from a David Lynch film called Blue Velvet. David Lynch, right, being a pretty substantial director in the industry, directed movies like Eraserhead, Mulholland Drive, the TV series Twin Peaks that's got that cult following, which is kind of even, I think, the thing that Welcome to Twin Peaks is one of the handles or whatever that kind of posted this photo. But yeah, Blue Velvet. We got a little. I wrote a
Synopsis of Blue Velvet?
Synopsis of Blue Velvet, because I'm trying to nerd explain stuff for people.
Oh,
Who maybe,
okay.
so it's about Jeffrey Beaumont. The guy basically stumbles across a severed ear in a field. It basically leads him to investigating a dark mystery lurking beneath his perfect small town. So then he's pulled into a life of basically a troubled lounge singer, Dorothy Valens, whose connection to this insane, which is one of the craziest scenes
Yeah.
in all of film, of Frank Booth, who is friggin' Dennis, I can't remember his name, King Koopa, what's his name?
Did you say King Koopa?
He's King Koopa in the
He's
Mario
King
movie.
Koopa in Mario.
Dennis Hopper.
Dennis Hopper.
So yeah, Dennis Hopper also.
It's crazy to know him just from that.
Dennis Hopper, aka King Koopa.
Most famous for.
Yeah.
Making more.
Well, look, as much as I love Blue Velvet and David Lynch, some could argue that
No.
maybe that Mario movie.
Do you see that meme that a hawk flew over like a little town the other day and dropped a severed head
Oh
into a
yes, and they're
playground?
like good enough.
They were like
welcome-
close enough. Welcome back, David
David
Lynch.
Lynch.
I was like, that's so sick.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Basically, yeah. So he stumbles across Frank Booth. He kind of puts him in a little bit of danger, and he basically descends deeper into the town's underbelly and uncovering a world of crime, obsession, twisted desires, hiding just beneath the surface. Of suburban normalcy.
It's very good.
Yeah, I wrote that, but I for some reason have to just read it
Yeah,
each
I
time
get
because
it.
I can't memorize stuff.
Am
But
yeah, I get it.
yeah,
Yeah, I get it.
yeah, it's
I forget words while I'm saying them,
yeah, right.
not even reading them.
It's basically Blue Velvet is a wholesome detective story that took the wrong turn into Lynch's personal fever dream.
Wholesome.
He is actually, but
It is. It starts off kind of
Yeah, it
because it's
does.
like this perfect
Yeah.
town, and then
and anybody who knows David Lynch, he's like a really wholesome, like apple pie guy.
Right.
yeah,
He's like
he owns
the
all those Woody
sweetest guy.
Woodpeckers, his boys.
Yeah, I saw that.
He's literally
They're
just like
his
a really
boys.
sweet, all-American guy, but just like makes these freaky ass movies.
I
It's
took
amazing.
it. Well, I didn't take, but I mean, like I watched his. I subscribed for like Masterclass for like
Yeah.
a year, and I watched the David Lynch's Masterclass.
Oh,
on
I did
writing.
too.
And I love it because he uses like the index cards. I'm like, oh, this is a simple little breakdown. But
Mhm.
yeah, basically, Blue Velvet's a morality tale about not picking up severed body parts.
hmm Just leave him on the ground.
So just leave that there. Don't go investigating. Hence, in turn, the significance of this blue velvet dress
Yes.
is because this actor who was nominated for best
Conclave, best supporting actress.
supporting actress was the actress in Blue Velvet. So there was a
Isabella Rossellini.
there was a nice little homage, tip of the hat there
Mhm.
to David Lynch and his contributions to the film industry. And that's how you fucking do it, Oscars.
That's how you do it.
You see how hard? That wasn't very hard at all.
Mm-mm.
Let's just get somebody out there to just talk about David Lynch's impact on the industry.
Yeah,
So there's that.
I agree.
You may have noticed also in the Oscars that that dance pool made an appearance.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I forgot about that.
I had to I was like, wow, this is freaking.
And Shai Halud, the sandworm.
Yes. Twice.
Oh yeah.
He kept saying the sandworm from Dune. I was like, it would have been funnier if you said his name.
Right. I
Say his
love how
name.
Conan just kind of addressed it too. He's like, when you spend this much money
use
on a
it
bit,
twice.
you use it twice.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
that was funny.
Was that? You think they spend money on that sandwich? They could have just brought out the popcorn
Looks like
bucket.
paper mache.
It's someone just made that.
Yeah, but it's a funny bit.
It's a funny bit.
Give me the popcorn bucket.
He was a good host. I liked it.
I love Conan.
Yeah.
Oh, Conan killed it.
Yeah, he really did.
Conan's
He did. Somebody was talking about this should be proof right here that Jimmy Kimmel and friggin' Jimmy Fallon should be sent
I don't
off
know
into
why
the
they
abyss.
don't have this was a perfect year. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But then they do such weird shit. I'm like, why don't you just get Tina and Amy to do it?
Oh,
you know,
God, I know.
use your brains. Remember that year that they had James Franco and Anne Hathaway host? What the fuck?
Yeah, what was that?
that
That's
was the
weird.
weirdest thing in the world. I don't know what they're thinking.
They're like, hey,
Uh.
let's pick two popular actors and actresses, and
Yeah,
why not?
Conan
just-
was perfect.
he was
Conan was
really
great.
good.
Dude, his whole substance bit before the show.
That was hilarious.
so good.
That's like how the show opened too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
that was funny.
Hey, Debbie, that was awkward.
Yeah.
To think that he was the host of the Tonight Show for a short amount of time after
Mhm.
Jay Leno.
Yeah,
And then that got kind of taken away from him because they just kind of undermined him with the weird Jay Leno
coming
now-
back after you're retired.
Well, no. If you guys don't know this story, so basically Conan O'Brien was given the Tonight Show. He was on the Late Show after Jay Leno for years, and he was the heir to the Tonight Show.
Mhm.
They said, "Hey, Conan, we're going to give you the Tonight Show when Jay steps aside." Jay Leno steps aside. Conan O'Brien finally gets the Tonight Show. And then they said, hey, actually, we're going to move the Tonight Show an hour later. And we're going to put this new Jay Leno show
Yeah.
at the new time slot of the Tonight
Yeah,
Show.
because Jay Leno retired and then he didn't want to retire, so they came back and then they gave him his time slot back. And then they pushed the Tonight Show like it's not an institution.
Yeah.
It was crazy. So he was like, "Fuck this, I'm leaving." And then he made whatever it's called now,
Yeah.
the show,
Well,
late show,
and then
It
he
was
had
the
he got-
Conan O'Brien show.
Conan O'Brien show.
yeah, on TBS. Is that still a thing?
Yeah.
No, he.
Oh,
He.
No.
oh no, it's not a thing.
It's not
It's
a
not.
thing. He retired and then now has a podcast.
He has a podcast now.
And he had a short-lived HBO series as well, right? Of him
I think
traveling.
that's David Letterman.
No, Conan did too.
Conan had maybe.
Oh, I didn't know.
Probably.
Letterman, I think, had a Netflix one. I think
Oh.
Conan was on HBO.
Oh, I didn't watch that.
But
How long has that not been a show? I don't know.
Oh yeah, watch Conan O'Brien Must Go was the HBO Max show.
bam.
Oh.
See, and now he's got a podcast,
Yeah.
Yes.
which is smart
Yeah,
Yeah.
because just
all the cool
All
kids
cool
are doing
kids
it.
have podcasts.
exactly. No, Conan was great.
Conan's great. Yeah.
Give him the Tonight Show back.
No, I
Yeah.
don't think he wants it.
I don't think he wants it.
Fuck Jimmy Fallon.
Well,
Yeah, I'm gonna say it.
I like Jimmy Kimmel.
Do you like Jimmy Fallon?
No.
I'm gonna out Jimmy Fallon right now.
okay.
Okay.
What's up?
There's a
I never liked him on SNL. Sorry.
He
you?
just
'Cause he-
broke
He
to.
broke so much.
He broke every sketch, but that was like his.
Yeah, that was his
It was
thing.
his thing. Shtick.
word on the street is he's a bass head.
Oh.
Why do you know this?
I know.
Please nerd explain
Yeah,
it.
please.
I
nerd
can't
explain
explain that one. What a bass head is?
Because in the rave community, that's something completely different.
I think it's the same thing. Oh no, you're
Mm-mm.
talking about like bass.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
No, this is bass as in free bass. Well, we won't nerd explain that one, but But it's like, get the camera
Get
off.
it off of me.
I don't give a fuck. Come after me, Jimmy Fallon. Everybody knows you freebase cocaine.
Or sponsor us.
Or sponsor us.
Or people say that he's drunk too all the time.
I saw him.
What are you sniffling about?
I got allergies.
My allergies are really bad today, though, too.
Yes.
I saw him very amplified
Mm-hmm.
at a very, very elevated state
Mm-hmm.
at a bar called Loaded on Hollywood Boulevard, of all places. I think his
Oh.
friend.
It's called
was-
Loaded.
The bar is called Loaded. Yeah, and it's like it's an institution. It's a kind of shitty, weird biker bar, musician kind of bar. I think they have like guitars and stuff and like rock
Never heard
band.
of it.
Loaded on Hollywood near Vine.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure it's still there. And there, yeah, like it's like one of those places that has the disgusting steel toilets that have the graffiti all over
Right.
them. But that's kind of like their whole vibe.
You saw him there.
Like basically the entire bar is just a giant steel toilet with graffiti on it.
What were you doing there?
Loaded 6.
I used to hang out at Loaded all the time. Yeah. What is the address?
6377 Hollywood Boulevard.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now.
I would know the bouncer. The bouncer at this just yeah. I used to run the streets of Hollywood and stuff.
Yeah, it looks like a biker bar.
Me and my friend gave Andy Dick a ride home one time because Andy Dick was too intoxicated and he just lived down the way and he asked us for a ride.
Wow.
Fucking weird. I
That
know.
is weird. Different life.
Do I know Andy Dick? Absolutely not.
No.
We gave him a ride home.
He'd just be getting in anybody's car.
Yeah, pretty much. Yes. Anybody that lives in Hollywood and goes out will tell you, I'm sure, has an Andy Dick story.
Yeah.
I have a Jimmy Fallon story,
Mm-hmm.
but
Story for another time.
the story for another time. Anyways, dance pool.
That's where we
I
started.
was
What
like,
the hell?
this is where we started. I wasn't sure. I was like, that can't be the same? Like, is that actually dance pool? It is.
It is.
No.
It is. Nick F. Pauly. I'm gonna give him a shout out. He was Ryan Reynolds' dance double.
Mm-hmm.
He did that infamous opening in the Deadpool Wolverine movie where he does the
Sync dance.
bye 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 in sync
Mhm.
dance. That was actually him at the Oscars.
Yeah, that's super cool.
This is just the part of the stuff part of news, but it was super cool. And then he even has a really cool. If you go to his Instagram, this is it right here. Firstly, dude takes a lot of shirtless selfies, but good for him because like he's in fucking great shape, right? It's like
Not us though.
he looks fucking jacked. Not me.
Not us though.
Not me. I'm not. I don't have
Not me.
abs like this guy. But he looks badass in that Deadpool costume. But you can even see it here at the bottom image. He's like kind of pacing behind the scenes backstage to go do his number. And kind of, you can tell he's like feeling anxious. And then like Robert Downey Jr. walks by and like fist bumps him.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, man, out of all things, here I am
Yeah.
dressed up as Deadpool to go do this dance number. And who were to walk by me than Iron Man,
Yeah.
AKA Dr. Doom.
Doctor Doom.
Ooh.
Victor
Which-
Doom.
Which is our segue. You like the segue time?
Oh yeah.
That's a great segue.
No,
these-
because I know that means I'm up.
Uh,
'Cause I'm like monitoring 3 things right now.
I know this is how we do it here. This
Yeah.
is tough business right here.
That means I'm up.
That means I'm up.
I mean, I'll read the headline for you
Yeah,
if you
thanks.
want. Okay, hold on. Robert Downey Jr. is writing a backstory. This is from IGN for Doctor Doom,
Mhm.
whatever the fuck that means.
Yeah.
Yeah, what?
So
Go on.
So what does that mean?
What it means that Robert Downey Jr. apparently has never read a Doctor Doom comic book.
No, so I did do some research because this was what from Variety, right?
Yeah.
So they did an interview with the Russo brothers recently, and when asked about Robert Downey Jr. as Doctor Doom, and they were along the lines of, funny enough, we just got off the phone with him. He's really invested into this character to the point where he's giving the Russo brothers notes about costume ideas, backstory ideas, integration within the whole like new storyline. And I don't know if you guys saw that whole like I should have wrote that in the notes. Do you guys see the MCU leak that like was
Yeah.
all over
Yeah, with like the Hulk family and
Emperor Doom?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, so I don't know if that was in response to that, but for those, this is my job right now to nerd explain who Doctor Doom is. I took notes.
Yeah. Please
I
tell
mean,
us.
I know who he is.
So
but,
for
like,
those of you who don't, so Robert Downey Jr.
Yes.
Obviously, I feel like the average like MCU fan is gonna know him as Iron Man. Everybody knows him as Iron Man.
Yeah.
Russo brothers at Comic-Con this year, and Marvel stole our footage. Long story.
Yeah.
But
We're gonna get shut down again.
Shut down.
but yeah, they said, hey, we're gonna bring Doctor Doom into the MCU, and we're gonna unveil the actor to play him. And lo and behold, to everybody's confusion and excitement,
Excitement.
Robert Downey Jr. Was unveiled to be Doctor Doom, which is how you're Iron Man. What are we doing here?
Right.
So there's obviously going to be some layers to it. But if you don't know who Doctor Doom is or his significance into Marvel, Ty will nerd-splain to you. Take it away, Ty.
Oh God. Yeah. So it's funny enough, we kind of going into the whole Marvel. Deadpool pokes a jab at it about how Marvel is going heavy into the multiverse thing. So, we all have our thoughts on that. But for those of you that don't know, who have not seen the original Fantastic Four movies or not played any of the video games or read any of the comics, Victor Von Doom is the opposite of Reed Richards, who is Mr. Fantastic of the Fantastic Four.
Yeah.
Now this year being played by Pedro Pascal. They were former college buddies, rivals, and after a tragic accident, left Victor Von Doom as the way he is
now. That Doctor Doom, that's not his original. That's eventually what developed, I think, as Marvel canon. But like, wasn't it before he was like a ruler of a country and stuff?
Yes. So
shout out to Stefan in the chat, by the way, and Instagram. I'm keeping an eye on the IG chat. By the way,
Pablito.
if you're on Instagram and saying hi, I'm so sorry. I rarely look at it, but
yes,
Stefan, what's up, man?
What's up, dude? I've been watching the Twitch and the YouTube comments, and there was a comment about the Saints, but I didn't feel like it was.
Yeah, I posted it up there. I know that was pumps. So
I didn't want to call attention to it. But yes, he was originally a ruler of a country. And
yeah, Liberia.
Liberia rose to power after his father was killed by an emperor and his mom was killed. Yes.
His mom was like a Romanian.
Yes.
Like gypsy.
Mm-hmm.
Can I say gypsy? I don't know if that's a thing now. Titties tell me no. Why not?
I don't know. That's my dog's name too.
Yeah, it is your dog.
It's very problematic.
But I think
But that is what it says on Marvel.com. So,
gypsy?
Yes.
Okay, well, then Marvel's saying it. I can say it.
Don't ask me.
My mother was a traveling show.
Yeah. But what's kind of
don't sing that Cher song. That's a Cher song. Is that no? All right.
All right. Well, I mean, I think it's a kind of interesting. Like you're taking these two characters, right? Like Victor Von Doom and Tony Stark. Kind of looking through, doing my own research, and obviously I know who these characters are, but doing research and how to further explain. So it is kind of cool that they are two. I'm reading my notes here. They're two. Robert Downey Jr. is playing another billionaire genius.
Yeah.
The only difference that juxtaposed to Iron Man, he's not involved with technology. He's involved with magic. He's also involved with ruling a country.
Yeah.
He's more. They're both self-absorbed characters, both in the comics and on the screen, but to one entirely different extreme.
Yeah.
And that's who I think Robert Downey Jr. is going to just play Iron Man to the max.
Yeah.
And I feel like this is going to be
because
a
his
really
personality already is Iron Man.
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah,
like, how are you
basically.
going to act? I mean, I know he's a good actor, but
Yeah.
is he?
Is he gonna have an accent?
Ooh.
That's what I'm wondering. But also, yeah, there's gotta be some significance to the fact that you have Robert Downey Jr. And I don't know if this is gonna tie into the multiverse, but there's no way you can ignore that,
will.
right?
It will, for sure.
Because it's leading into that will lead into Secret Wars.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And they've already said he's going to play a huge part. And there's already people fans speculate what's his mask's going to be made out of. Like, oh, it's going to be the same mask that he had in Iron Man 1, but he's going to modify it to look like Doctor Doom's mask.
Mm-hmm.
And it's funny because Hasbro also just released like the Victor Von Doom mask, stand, and like cloak. You can like role play toy that they've just released. So I think it's all very timely that Hasbro and Marvel announced this little collectible as well as the interview coming out through Variety.
Yeah, I like the idea of this character at some point, like he's gonna be this tyrant, but at some point there's gonna be a reveal of who is under that mask.
Right.
Mhm.
And that world, if this does, please let this play something into it, because if it doesn't, it's kind of genuinely going to piss me off.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Uh,
It has to play into
it
it.
has to play into it, because just the idea of their the biggest tyrant, or somebody who's going to come into Earth, or their new villain, being the face of their once kind of savior,
Yeah. Well, that
has a lot of insane.
Yeah.
that was within the speculated leaks that were released online, that there are going to be different. Obviously, again, we're going to go back to the whole variance thing, but there's a prime character in each universe, and Doom is going to come into play, and they're going to obviously show Tom Holland Spider-Man react
Right.
to seeing his former beloved mentor as this tyrant.
Yeah.
And it's so interesting that with Doctor Doom and Iron Man, like, right, like, I want to say both characters, their characters, and their main character trait are their internal flaws.
Mhm.
And it's like, obviously they show Tony Stark, Iron Man, kind of dealing with those throughout the whole MCU timeline, but you're just gonna see the polar opposite with Doom.
Right.
And there's videos online of people like, why is people so excited about Doctor Doom? And I love it. I wish I had the clip, but there's a clip of Ultimate Alliance, if anyone's ever played that, where Doctor Doom is the main antagonist, and he is just wrecking. He creates the Masters of Evil, and so I'm assuming that's going to come into play too.
Yeah, probably. That headline's weird though. So like he's not writing the backstory. He's just doing a ton of research and like
Yeah.
talking to the
Okay.
writers
Talking to
about
it, yeah.
Okay, good.
what like the backstory should.
Yeah, it was
is.
100% IGN, just like, hey, this is a clickbait for you guys.
Yeah.
And
He's
he
not like
actu-
the way they make it sound is like
He's doing it.
he's writing a backstory. It's like, oh, but there's already a backstory.
there's already a backstory, right?
So he's just doing a ton of research and
He's
being
doing
like,
research, and I think he's giving suggestions. That's what I got out of the Variety interview.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, and as an actor, you definitely want to have your input on what you feel.
Yeah, of
Yeah.
course.
The way that you're going to play a character.
Yeah.
Be like, hey, this character would probably want this for this reason.
Mhm.
As a director, I'm sure you would eat that up. You would love that.
Oh yeah, and they
So-
have such a good relationship already.
Yeah, absolutely. We missed an Oscar thing, actually. This is a fun factoid, by the way, and kind of a headline.
Oh, and another segue.
Another segue here. Disney has lost Best Animated Feature at the Oscars for 3 years in a row now. Flow winning Best Animated Feature this year. I think last year Elemental got beat out by The Boy and the Heron, and the year before Turning Red got beat out by
Pinocchio.
Pinocchio. Yeah, Guillermo
Guillermo
del
del
Toro.
Toro.
Fun facts about this. And did he just kind of, because I was like, well, and I wrote down in my notes here, I was like, this just means that there's love and respect put on feature length animations now. For the longest, it was only Disney focused on that particular genre. And that time's basically past now. But Disney definitely paid the roads, and that should not be overlooked. And that kind of goes into a little bit about.
Yeah, we were looking up like how many Oscars they have won for Best Animated, and we were kind of tripping out like how did like Lion King not win?
Yeah.
How did Beauty and the Beast, Little Mermaid, like how did all these
Yeah.
not win? And so I was like going down a deep dive, and
They
so
said they've only won 4.
well, no,
Okay. Because I was like, they have enough Oscars. I think they have like.
they definitely have won more than that, but they did not win their first Oscar. Actually, Hayao Miyazaki won the for Spirited Away before
Oh.
Disney won one.
Oh,
Yeah.
really? Well,
Um,
we're Spirited Away.
Because it was 2000 or what year?
Did Spirited Away come out?
No,
I have Spirited Away on VHS, and Gwen,
do
my
I.
6-year-old daughter, loves it.
it's one of my favorites.
And she's like, "Can we watch that movie where the parents turn into the pigs?" I'm like, "You better never wish this upon your dad."
No, it won in Spirited Away won in 2003.
Oh,
Finding
wow.
Nemo was the first Disney Pixar film. Well, I mean, I guess Spirited Away is like, but not really. I think
No,
he
they
cut
just
ties.
licensed.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, they didn't win until Finding Nemo in 2004. And then they won a ton, like The Incredibles.
Yeah.
They won Ratatouille, Wally, Up, Toy Story 3.
Yeah, they
It
had
goes
hits
on and on.
upon
Frozen,
hits.
Big Hero 6. Then they definitely got into a groove of being the only people to win it, like Inside Out,
Yeah, what was weird,
Zootopia, Coco.
and oftentimes people will refer to what they call the golden age of Disney animation,
Mhm.
which is that Alan Menken, Howard Ashman era of, and I'm like, man, how did these things not win
Yeah.
Oscars?
But then we found out that the first
So apparently, yeah, what Diddy found out is that, and I didn't know this, is that wasn't even a category for
it
the
wasn't a
longest time.
category until 1991.
So
No. 2001 was the first year that it was introduced as a category of the Academy Awards. Before that, some pictures were like animated features were just nominated for. That's why they won like best song, best like
yeah,
score, and everything. A few like Lion King, Beauty and the Beast were nominated just for like best picture.
which is crazy to think.
Crazy to think.
Yeah.
That they were in categories as along with like just feature films. So 2001 was the first year that they made it a category, and it was actually Shrek that won the first best animated feature.
First best animated feature length goes to Shrek.
Yeah,
And
which it is perfect.
it is perfect. I just would, that is like such a random trivia question
Right.
Yeah,
of like,
and we know that
but nobody would ever guess that. I think
that Shrek is the first one.
Yeah, what is the first movie to win best animated feature?
Unless I'm wrong and I have like this wrong, the timeline, but
if
I'm
Tommy
pretty sure
Jeff
I'm right.
was here. No, that's funny because I feel like most people would be like, "Oh, seven, Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs," probably would be like, no,
No.
you're right. I'm pretty
Some
sure.
things won like Oscars for sure. Like a bunch of they got a bunch of best songs, best scores. Roger Rabbit received a honorary award for animation before animation was a category.
Yeah, no, you're
but
right. Look, Google AI is even saying Academy Award for Best Animated Feature was introduced in 2001. First awarded in 2002, and the first one was
Shrek.
Shrek.
That's sick, dude.
With
Shrek is life.
Shrek is
Shrek
life.
is love.
Spirit. What?
Don't
Don't
watch
look that
it.
up. Don't look that up.
Don't look it up.
Which yeah, Spirited Away 2002, Finding Nemo 2003, The Incredibles 2004, Wallace and Gromit in The Curse of the Wee Rabbit
Mhm.
2005,
Mhm.
Hell yeah.
Happy Feet 2006, which
Wow.
fucking weird, man. That's
Weird.
That is
weird ass movie. I don't know if you have a chance to revisit Happy Feet, if you remember that movie,
Oh, I remember that movie.
it's so
I
weird.
saw it in theaters.
It's all
Did
about
you?
like having sex, basically. That's literally like the center focus of the movie. Is like,
It's a mating dance, yeah.
yeah, and it's also like there's a scene in that film where the main character, Happy Feet or whatever, is like stumbling.
His name's Happy Feet.
I don't know what his name is. He's like stumbling over the girl who's like the love interest, who
Okay.
everybody wants, who's like the good singer. And you can look this up, I'm sure, on TikTok, on YouTube. They fall into like 5 or 6 different sexual positions, like because he's like stumbling over her. So they fall into missionary, and then they stand up, and she actually falls over, and they fall into doggy, and like reverse. There's like such a
That is weird.
is.
I've only seen it once. I didn't know it was. I remember it being like weirded out by it. Though.
oh, but it's also like it's so. I mean, as a kid, you wouldn't pick it up. And
No,
like
he just
most-
likes to dance.
Yeah, and then but also like
Yeah.
look, the music in it is kind of crazy good, but it's also weird because they're like these penguins that think, I don't know, like humans are aliens, and he gets
Right.
abducted and he gets put in a zoo, and it's such a it's a fever dream. It's like
Yeah.
it's like David Lynch's animated.
Yeah. Well, that's right, because he had to like dance to get out of the zoo, right?
Yeah, dude, I don't remember how he
I
gets
don't
out.
remember. That
He
was
gets
weird.
tagged, and then even one of the other penguins, there was like some really stereotypical like horny
Yeah.
Mexican penguins in there. They were like, hey,
Oh, no.
yes, oh
You
yeah,
for real?
yeah.
I
And
guess
then,
I haven't seen that since.
oh,
came out.
rewatch it, revisit Happy Feet. It's freaking weird.
And it won Best Animated.
Yeah, and then
I feel like they always make weird choices.
this was
I
a
mean,
very
this
weird
year
choice.
Flow won, which I thought was really good, but I think Memoir Over Snail was better.
I saw
You see it?
I didn't say I
Memoir
wanted
of a
to.
Snail?
I wanted.
Mhm.
It's the stop motion.
Yeah,
That sounds great.
it's amazing. Not for kids. Don't.
Was it better than? I didn't see it this one either, but was it better than Wild Robot?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
I mean,
Was
Wild Robot
this year?
yeah.
Yeah,
That was
Oh,
also
it lost
it
to
lost to Flow.
to Flow.
Man, Wild Robot. I talked about this before on this show. Wild
Flow
Robot
was really
great.
amazing though. But yeah, Wild Robot was really good too.
Oh my
Don't
gosh.
watch the movie, The Memoir of a Snail, with the kids.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
It's not for kids.
It's not-
All right.
I know that's not for. Where's Wild Robot streaming?
Peacock.
Peacock.
Yeah.
Do you not have Peacock?
No, I do have HBO, so that I know Flow's on HBO, so I'll watch that.
Damn it. You know what? Because I got logged out of Chanel's account for HBO, so I rented Flow for like
Oh.
$6.99. And I was like, you should watch Flow before it's gone. And she was like, it's on HBO. And I was like,
Flow's also on Prime, I think.
Oh, is it?
no, to rent or to buy.
No,
Oh.
It's
I think
on there.
I think I watched it for
Well, I don't know. Maybe I just had too many beers
maybe.
and I couldn't figure it out, and I rented it instead. We watched it after the Oscars because it won.
You do have a perfect Shrek segue, but we're gonna go into this random bit of Disney.
Don't piss
news.
off the bronies. What are
The-
they called?
The Brogurs.
The Brogurs.
We learned. So we were talking about the
Don't piss them
Shrek fan base. Well,
You can Google it.
I said Shrekies,
and that is correct.
and that is right. But then Ty also found another term online, and it's Brogurs.
yeah.
Brogurs, Shrekies, whatever you want to call themselves. Before we get to the Brogurs and the Shreky news,
Okay.
Disney Plus to no longer have new original long form animation.
What does that even mean?
Yeah, what does that mean? Because they're making Frozen 3.
Well, Disney Plus is not getting. Remember, there was a series of
Oh.
movies turning red. Well, some of this you could say was due to the pandemic,
Yeah.
Right.
right?
Which is so dumb because some of those movies are the best movies they've made in a while.
Luca. I think they also
Luca was amazing.
gave Luca was amazing.
So
They
good.
gave all those movies theatrical releases at some point, so they could get nominations.
Mhm.
I want to say.
Yeah, but they were straight to Disney Plus first. Right?
Yeah. Luca, I think, was always going to be a straight to Disney Plus thing.
Mm.
Mhm. And Kanto was straight to Disney Plus too,
Yeah,
and it won Best Animated Feature.
because it got a theatrical
Mhm.
release.
But it's just odd that I don't know. I think they put one gay character in a movie, and then they're like, blame it on all the movies that
Oh, you're
we've
talking
made
about
in the last
Lightyear.
part.
You're
Yeah.
talking about Lightyear. I think that movie wasn't marketed well enough. That
They
has
don't market
nothing to
any
do-
of those movies well.
And then also, like, what's weird about
Or Strange World.
oh
Yeah.
yeah, Strange World is not marketed. Strange World was cool.
It was
I
good,
liked
but the boy is like gay in it. And
Okay,
yeah, people hated it. People were like super pissed about
shut
it.
the fuck up, people.
And
That's
now
right.
they're saying that they're only gonna do sequels and sequels and sequels about like Frozen and more Zootopia and more anything. Like they're not gonna do any more.
I'm all about
original
that
movie.
Judy Hopps.
What?
No.
They're on me now.
There's an internet.
Nick Wilde.
There's an internet subculture of people that are really into the Zootopia characters.
Furries?
I know.
Like
It's weird.
Judy Hopps has quite the following online.
It's not weird. It's fine.
I
Whatever you're
stumble-
into, but
I felt that. I mean, it's weird. I'm gonna say
I
it's
got a
fucking weird.
fan edit on my
What is your algorithm?
Instagram algorithm of Roger Rabbit, and I was like, I think it's just because we talked about it on here
Yeah.
one time, and I was scrolling at a fan edit.
They're listening.
I was like, I can't believe this. This is outrageous. I never want to see that again.
Basically, this whole controversy started because of the there was like a Tiana, I think, series or something that they were developing. Oh, sorry, like I'm jumping the gun on that. There was a Tiana princess series that got abandoned. And this was also the same thing with Moana 2. I think Moana 2 was originally going to be a series on Disney Plus.
Yeah, it was, and they already had like Lin-Manuel Miranda as like lined up to do all the music, and they signed all these contracts, and then they dumped the show,
Mhm.
and then they rushed the second movie, and Lin-Manuel Miranda was already had a contract for the show, and they couldn't like break it, but he also had a contract to do Mufasa's music, and Moana 2 is not good. Like it's not as good for sure.
It's a beautiful. It looks beautiful. We saw it on the big screen. Like visually, it is stunning.
Yeah, very, very beautiful.
But
It definitely suffered
you
because
know
they
who
rushed.
You know who I'm gonna blame for that? The Rock,
The Rock,
the executive
he-
producer Dwayne Johnson on that film. By the way,
really.
yeah. probably was the guy who was like, we got to rush this because there's a live action Moana that we just filmed as well.
Is he in the live action? He
He
plays.
plays Maui.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's crazy, right? But I'm gonna blame him. Not only do I blame him for turning John Cena heel on Cody
Oh
Rhodes
my
this past
How
weekend.
dare him?
Not only do I blame him for trying to inject himself into the WrestleMania 40 main event. Not
He
on-
should be the heel.
Not only did he is the heel.
I know. I'm like, why are they turning John Cena? I mean, okay, save it for Saturday.
Well, The Rock was the one that made John the Rock the final
know.
boss. He's the puppet master, if you will. Yeah. It's his fault though. His fault amongst a bunch of things are kind of his fault. He's had kind of a weird. I will talk about this actually on the abdominal stretch, the Ballad of Dwayne Johnson, because some of his misses here in Hollywood, I feel like, led to him where he's at now in the pro wrestling industry, and he is a heel.
And he is a heel.
He is a heel. I see through you, Dwayne.
Not
Okay.
even the best wrestler turned actor.
Yeah,
That's John Batista.
Dave Bautista.
Dave Batista. What did I say? John Cena?
You said but John Cena's
John Cena's really good too.
really good.
Yeah.
What's the movie that he's in where he plays the drug dealer with like the neck tattoos, and it's like Tina Fey and Amy Poehler, and he's like, I got freaking Valiums, I got Percocets, I got freaking
What
things that'll make
movie
you
is that?
dance
I know
all
what you're
night. I got
talking
things that'll
about.
make
Oh,
your
is it
dick hard,
Sisters?
things that'll make your dick soft. Things-
Yeah.
I got Flintstone vitamins.
Yeah.
Yeah, John Cena's is really funny wrestler turned actor too. I
He's
like
great. And Peacemaker.
him. And
Oh,
Peacemaker,
yeah,
he's
dude.
great in that.
I can
Dave
argue
Batista though, so good.
Dave Bautista's great, but I can argue that Peacemaker has the best opening sequence
Oh,
of
yeah.
any television show ever.
I never watched Peacemaker.
Oh, you're missing out.
I know.
It's good.
Yeah, you are missing out.
I know.
You never seen Peacemaker?
I know.
Thanks for rubbing it in.
I'm gonna watch it.
But yeah, the Tiana series I think is something that is kind of was the catalyst. Was
Jump
the ca-
scare.
They
can't
can't
see
see
what's
this.
going
Yeah, yeah.
What's going on?
He just pulled up Ugly Sonic.
For a reason. For a reason.
It was just really big on the screen.
They can't. The people at home can't see this. So yeah. Okay. So this brings us from one animated thing to winner of the first ever winner of best animated feature length, I guess. Actually, any last notes on Disney? Are you guys mad about Disney
Yeah.
Plus originals or what?
Yeah, it's dumb.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What are you doing, Disney? Can't even win an Oscar.
Got him.
Don't come at me with this.
Yeah.
That's got to definitely be some sort of point. Brogurs or Shrekies Online have come out of the woodworks and
Come on to the
are.
swamp.
Let's just say that this new Shrek is
That's what he
very
pulled up.
divisive. Yeah. So this is real, by the way. Ugly Sonic, or the Sonic movie, people tweeted or TikToked this. And it says, for any green ogres looking for advice.
I love it so much.
I
Hilarious.
don't know what the fuck the internet is talking about. And I was even saying this to Ty, and I told you this. I don't see a problem.
The animation style is just cheaper. It's
It's
definitely
cheaper, you
they
think?
went.
I think it got better. Look,
What
have you seen
on the God's earth are you talking about?
Okay.
They went full Illumination Studio. It looks bad.
Did you watch Puss in Boots:
Calm
The
down.
Last Wish?
Yeah.
That one I feel like kind of was a nice little merger, and I think this is kind of what they're doing with this as well, of the 2D 3D style,
Mm-hmm.
which
just-
is like Into the Spider-Verse almost, right?
Mm.
To where you can kind of see the hand-drawn elements of it. And for those of you who don't know about Shrek, by the way, winner of the first ever
God.
feature animated Oscar, animated feature length Oscar. It is a movie franchise. Do I need to explain? Shrek to
No, no
people?
one.
All right.
Everyone knows what Shrek, is.
is getting
This
a
is
sequel.
making 5 movies.
This is the.
It has its own fanfic.
I look at this.
Yeah.
I look at this image right here, this old and new, and I don't see a problem. It looks
It's because you're an idiot.
the same. I don't understand it. I don't.
No, but I will say this.
What's What? He's got like eyebrows a little bit different. His maybe face
The
isn't as
animation style
wide.
is completely different.
I don't. It's
If some-
better.
it's
a
not
better animation
better.
style.
It's not
it's
better.
not
looks
better.
more realistic.
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 I don't. I feel like I'm taking crazy pills here.
Yeah, you are.
So I like what Diddy said, and I think this is a good way to kind of explain it. I like what you said, Diddy. You said this.
What I say.
You. That's like,
What's that thing that I said that you
thing
like?
yeah, that thing. Let's refresh.
What did I say?
This looks more. It looks very Illumination
Yeah.
style. So like obviously DreamWorks, because it was DreamWorks, and then they created Illumination, correct?
Mm-hmm.
What was was it just DreamWorks Studios that did the original Shrek?
Mm-hmm.
I think also DreamWorks wasn't that started by a bunch of Pixar employees that left
Yes.
because of
Yeah,
Disney? And were
probably.
like,
Well, that was also Blue Sky, right?
well, Blue Sky did the same thing from DreamWorks.
DreamWorks.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what it was.
So it's crazy. Yeah, DreamWorks started from people that left Pixar and then said, hey, we're going to work on slightly more
Well,
risky projects, and then Blue
he-
Sky.
Yeah.
So it looks more like the new Shrek.
Now, Blue Sky is the Twitter thing. You're thinking of Skydance.
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 Sorry.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Skydance.
Kubo,
So,
or
yeah,
Ice Age. Yeah,
Wait.
Skydance.
oh
Ice Age was DreamWorks.
no.
No.
Was that Skydance?
Yeah.
I know Apple is using Skydance. They
No,
did like the
because-
Lucky movie.
No, because it wasn't Skydance. I'm just gonna look it up because Disney.
Tommy Jeff.
Okay.
Tommy Jeff, where are you?
Because Disney bought out Fox, and that was a part of Fox. So that's why Ice Age did the goodbye thing. Because
Oh, that's
Disney-
right.
Mhm.
Disney shut down that studio.
That's right.
Damn, that's cold.
Ice Age, yeah, it was cold.
You know, cold blooded Disney.
But yeah, like if you look at the two images, like the one on the right, the new one, it looks smoother. It looks, I don't want to say cheap, but it looks like they just put it
Like
together really
better
fast.
lighting and
Not even better.
textures and
The texture on the old looks
skin.
better.
The
What are
texture
you
on the
talk-
old one looks
Look,
better.
Dude,
let me
like look
tell
at his
you.
vest. Look at his vest.
Yes, I see it. I would say
It just to me it looks cheaper.
Yeah.
go rewatch that first Shrek movie and tell
I
me you
will.
think
Some of the
that's-
charm is the animation style. Listen,
I
it doesn't
don't
have
get
to.
it.
We don't have to live in a world where everything has to be smooth and perfect and freaking AI generated. That's what
Yeah.
it looks like.
Oh, you're saying this looks like
No,
AI
it,
Shrek.
it was Blue Sky Studios that did Ice Age.
Okay,
I just
bam.
looked it up.
got 'em.
Okay, I'm just thinking of Blue Sky, the people who started the Twitter.
Correct.
I think people love the original animation because of its imperfect qualities, right? And I don't think people take kindly to when you change a beloved version of something. Like, okay, so for instance,
I don't think it's that drastic of a change.
it's a super big change.
Let's use Disney as an example. The Mickey Mouse Runaway Railroad.
Runaway Railway. Yeah,
Runaway
yeah.
Railway. That style Mickey versus like classic Mickey. That's
Yeah.
the difference here.
Or like SpongeBob, right?
SpongeBob, right?
Every time they change the animation for SpongeBob, I'm like, what the hell? Why
Mhm.
don't they just make the original animation? It's so annoying when they do all this weird different styles. If
Because
some-
it's faster.
it's faster.
That's what it feels like.
Hmm.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm gonna respectfully disagree. I'm gonna go see Shrek 5
I mean, I'll see it. They'll get my money.
because the years don't stop coming, and they don't stop coming. And they don't stop coming, and they don't stop coming. Back to the rules and hit
But
the ground
yeah,
running.
But what are people mad besides that? I know I saw somebody online say that they were mad about Zendaya being in it. And it's like, what? Like, she's great.
Yeah,
cares?
I understand.
That's
What?
weird. That part's weird.
Why
Yeah.
are you mad about that?
I don't know.
All the cast too is coming back, are they not? Like, is it
They
not
are.
Yeah,
all
they
the
are.
original Shrek cast?
From my understanding, yes.
Yeah.
What Diddy's referring to is that people were upset about her eye color changing because I guess when the baby was born, it was
Blue eyes and
But
now
it's
they're
like-
brown eyes.
Fuck
And it's
up,
like,
Brogurs.
do you not know how like chemistry and like biology works? Like eye colors can change.
Hmm.
Like I don't know why they're so focused on that. It's
Also-
stupid.
I mean, I didn't even watch that movie when they had kids.
That's what I told Pablo. Like, I
haven't
liked,
even seen
I
that
liked 1, 2, and maybe 3, but I didn't watch anything after that.
Yeah, I've seen the first two. I've seen the one with
Justin Timberlake.
Justin
That was
Timberlake.
the third one.
yeah, it's the third one. Okay, I've seen the first three. Then.
First 3, yeah.
But I really can't even remember the third one.
no, same.
But
They
I,
were looking for Justin Timberlake. That's all I know.
or they found him. I don't
found
know, Like
him.
I don't know.
I will say the Puss in Boots movie.
That
the
one was really
Last
good.
Wish was amazing.
And that's what is gonna make this one probably really good too, because they're like bringing it back. Because at the
Right.
end of that movie, he's like going to far away.
Mhm.
It's like, oh, I'm gonna go see my friends. So it's like, you know, bringing it back around.
Little, yeah.
Yeah, I am. Look, we're all gonna go see this Shrek movie.
Yeah.
We're all gonna have our Shrek ears. What's this popcorn bucket?
And
gonna
also,
be?
What's this popcorn bucket?
also
An
the animation
outhouse.
could not be done yet too. You know, sometimes they just release like
True.
teasers and stuff like that, and they haven't finished the entire thing.
I just think it's a bit extreme to compare this to Ugly Sonic.
But also, was Ugly Sonic just like a ploy to just get a ton of attention?
No,
No.
Then they had to reanimate that entire film
because of all the backlash. Because people
for real. They did.
the director, I think, specifically kind of called for, which is you can do it,
You
Yeah,
can do it,
not
yeah.
impossible. I mean,
I love in Chip and Dale where Ugly Sonic is played by Tim Robinson.
Yeah. Oh
Yeah.
my gosh,
I mean, genius.
I love. Yeah, they always get like the close up on his mouth.
And they're
and his
just staring
teeth.
at him. He's like talking. It's perfect that it's Tim Robinson too.
I didn't realize that's
It's
Tim
Tim
Robinson.
Robinson.
That's funny.
That's amazing. Yeah.
That
well,
movie's so good.
It is so good. Let's
Another
see.
Disney Plus movie.
It is. It's
Yeah.
another.
Yeah.
That could have. Look, I would have. That movie, I definitely would have gone and seen in theaters.
Yeah, I
yeah.
would have done.
Uh,
So they're not going to do any more movies like that. Is that what they're saying?
There's no more feature lengths.
Well, that's a feature length.
Yeah. So what? They're just gonna do shorts?
I mean, maybe series. Well, the other thing is
Series,
like
yeah.
there was like the Cars on the Road show.
Oh, that's right.
That could have been a movie.
That could have been a movie.
And it was
I
really
didn't see
good.
it. Was it Cars thing?
Yeah,
How many Cars movies are there?
3.
Oh. I
And
thought there was
actually,
more.
they're making a 4th.
Oh, okay.
They already confirmed that.
But they made like a Planes movie.
Yeah, with
connected.
Dane Cook.
Dane Cook, that's right.
For
Holy
real?
crap, yeah. I didn't
Yeah.
watch it, but I know Dane Cook is in it.
Yeah,
Dang.
Dane. he's the plane.
He's the plane.
He's
the plane.
the Plane.
Absolutely, he's the plane in that one.
Damn.
Let me look up. We're trying to get. Well, hold on. Well, I'm trying to pull up this bit of news. In the meantime, though, here's some good news. I don't know if this is good news. Actually, this is just crazy news. That made me rethink so many things in my life and what I'm doing, with myself.
What?
But there was a viral hot Cheeto
Oh.
in the shape of a Charizard that recently
Oh, is that
sold.
what keeps being pulled up? I've been knowing what that is all day.
Oh, did you know? So, I'm gonna. Yeah, this is a real. If Nathan Haskell was here, this
Oh
is
my
where we would go to. Apparently, this is news. The viral hot Cheeto shaped like Charizard has sold for $87,840 on eBay.
What?
According to USA Today, you got to catch them all. And one person just caught a hot Cheeto shaped like an iconic Pokemon character for a hefty price. Shaped like the character Charizard and nicknamed Cheetozard, the uniquely shaped hot snack was sold for $87,840 by Golden Auctions. According to the auction website, the item was sold around 2 a.m. Eastern Time on Sunday. The item auctioned off was 3 inches long, flaming hot Cheeto in the shape of Pokemon's Charizard. Charizard was a part of the first. But they go through they explained it to us now who Charizard was. We know who Charizard was. He was part of the first generation starter Pokemon. And the unique Cheeto was sold affixed to a customized Pokemon card with its name on it, Cheetozard, which you're seeing in this image here.
Dude, that's smart. Like the fact that they
That's-
went the extra
with
mile
the
to
card?
make a card.
The card is the.
That's
the
what
thing.
sold it.
Yeah, that's what sold it.
They're like, oh, this looks official as shit.
Who's the mark? Who bought that?
Yeah, who's the mark?
According to the listing, the bids were received on the Pokemon shaped hot Cheeto, and the winning bid was actually for $72,000. The final price, though, came to be higher than $87,000 due to the buyer's premium. Fucking eBay. Always getting their hands on everything. But yeah, that is what sold it, is the fact that it.
Had the custom.
There was another hot Cheeto or Cheeto that was like the Harambe.
Yes.
But it's not meant to look like that. It's on accident, and then somebody was
No,
like,
Yeah, someone just reached in the bag, was like, you know what? Let me print out something
Yeah.
that will look like a Pokemon card. and I
"I'm
bet I can
being
sell this.
I'm being serious. Was it meant to look like Charizard?
No.
Okay,
they
it's an
found it,
accident. It's like
yeah.
a Jesus and Toast situation.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's 1,000% what this is like.
Okay,
Yeah,
got it.
Jen, that's
One lucky soul
What?
bought a bag of hot Cheetos. Was
Yeah.
like, I
Wow.
can go for some red dye 40 right now.
yeah,
Played Pokemon Red.
Dang, that's crazy.
and this is what they got. They got
God, with the ugly Sonic keeps popping.
Stop looking at it.
I know.
It's on the off screen. Nobody can-
Every time that you brought up that Cheeto thing, though, I was like, "What the hell is that?" I didn't even see what it is.
So this is the image they posted. I would love to see like the bottom part of the card, because like on the trading cards, they like show their attacks and like their special abilities on the trading cards.
oh yeah.
I
yeah.
wonder if they went the extra mile and added something like
Yeah.
cheesy blast or something.
Oh yeah. Well, fire hot Cheeto. I like that it's a hot Cheeto too.
Oh,
Yeah.
of course, yeah.
If
But
this would have been a regular crunchy Cheeto, it wouldn't have the same effect.
No, it has to have the fire.
well, it would have looked more accurate to Charizard.
The
No.
coloring.
The coloring, Charizard's orange. He's not red.
Yeah, he is, but the fact that it's
It's a hot-
spicy,
yeah,
hot
I
Cheeto,
know.
you know, I don't know. How much did the Harambe Cheeto sell
No, I'll
for?
look
Can
it
we
up.
look that up
Yeah,
really
I'll
quick?
Hold on.
I must
There
know.
was a Harambe Cheeto. What
Yeah.
are the people at Cheetos doing?
They're accidentally making iconic Cheetos.
All right.
What's crazy about this though is that
Oh my god.
Cheetos probably don't decompose. Because I've found like Cheetos, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Oh,
because it's
that's
not.
gonna be around forever.
Yeah, that Cheeto is gonna stay perfectly preserved as that Cheetos are,
Yeah.
just like that.
It was in resin even more.
I hope the person who buys it just like posts a video of them just being like,
Eating it.
"Fuck
Eating
it,
it.
guys,
Yeah.
here it is."
True.
Poverty sucks.
Already sucks.
Dang.
Yeah, just
It's
goes
that
in on
meme.
it.
It's like, man, it smells.
Yeah.
smells like
Y'all want to
fall-
eat some dinosaur, motherfuckers? Let's try it.
the Harambe shaped Cheeto, and it doesn't say if it was a hot Cheeto.
It was
Nerd
just- I think-
splain. Hey, nerd splain Harambe.
Yeah, there you go. Oh, go ahead.
Well, Harambe has
It was a
become
hot
quite
Cheeto.
the internet celebrity.
2017.
In 2017, Harambe was a gorilla that was put down in the, which zoo was it? The Cincinnati.
Oh no, no, I was
He
being
was
funny.
put down at a zoo because there was a child that fell into the enclosure due to a neglectful parent.
Hmm.
And Harambe tried to protect this child and became very protective of the child. Although, to many of speculators' dismay, Harambe was dragging the toddler around, but it wasn't looking to harm the child. It looked like it was looking to help or protect the child, or thought it to be its young. And but humans are a lot more frail than baby gorillas are, and henceforth Harambe had to be put down. And now,
Some say that's where the timeline split.
yeah.
That,
I mean,
what was that thing in Loki? That was our Horizon event or whatever. It's
yeah,
called.
it's possible that was a Horizon event, and now we're living in this alternate universe because Harambe.
The darkest timeline.
The darkest timeline. I can't believe we had to nerd explain this.
I
Oh,
was just kidding, but he really did it.
well,
I
what zoo was it?
I'm just
Okay,
kidding.
who cares? Who cares?
I have
what,
the Cheeto
what's the
information.
give me the Cheeto information. The Harambe.
How much was that Cheeto?
How much was the Harambe Cheeto? Did it sell or?
It was it was a flaming hot Cheeto. The Harambe shaped Cheeto sold for $99,900 on
What the
eBay on
fuck?
February 7th of 2017.
But it
So
just looks like a gorilla.
and it was
Could you
in
have an
Burbank.
image?
I do have an image.
Hold on, I have to find it.
Here, I can airdrop it to you, right?
Harambe Cheeto. Because now
You have
what?
it? I can't.
Like
this is
what-
crazy.
No, it's fine. Oh man.
Oh.
What is with all these? And then, mind you, the folks at Cheetos are not intentionally doing this. This is complete accident. To where there are, yeah. I can't believe we're talking about this right now. The folks at Cheetos are not intentionally making these Cheetos. Okay, you got it. Save the downloads. Here, let's upload it. This is, guys, what are we talking about here? What is it? This started with the Pokemon Cheeto. I'm so deep in up to my ears in Pokemon stuff right now because my kids are going through it at the moment. I'm putting together a 1,000-piece Pokemon puzzle that's sitting on my
Nice.
dining room table as we speak. Um, but this is the infamous Harambe Cheeto as well. If you want to know of other famous Cheetos, and then there was like a Sasquatch Cheeto too. Not that you have to look that one up, but look up just when you have a chance. If you want a really interesting
It
Google
does look like
search.
Harambe.
I mean, it is Harambe.
Reincarnated into a Cheeto.
Yeah. But yeah, apparently
This really is the darkest timeline.
there. Apparently, so next time you're munching down on those Cheetos, just know you
Take a
could
moment.
potentially pay off some student loans with.
One time I was walking through my living room and the way like the table and a chair were set up, it was like a perfect shadow of Alfred Hitchcock's shadow.
Oh, like
His
his
silhouette.
silhouette
Yeah, I took a picture. I was like, forget Jesus and toast. I got Hitchcock.
from my chair.
But it was just a shadow, like it went away. There's
Uh-huh.
nothing tangible. I took a
Right.
picture though.
There
I'll
you
show
go.
you guys.
You have a photo of it.
It happened.
It happened.
It did happen. All right. The director of Longlegs. Oh, Ty, you want to take this? Director of
Oh, yeah.
Longlegs wants to make a Darth Vader movie. Do we need a nerd explain who Darth Vader is?
If we need to nerd explain Darth Vader, something's wrong.
Maybe this isn't the show.
Maybe this
for
isn't the
you.
show for you.
This is the show for
This
you.
is the
guy.
show for you. We'll tell you
What
about
are you
him.
talking about?
Spoiler: it's Luke's father.
Yeah.
But what's kind of interesting about this is about that article is that Osgood Perkins specifically mentions he wants to do a series of shorts that's based on Darth Vader's flashbacks and nightmares, and that's a reference to the Darth Vader comics from Marvel,
Oh,
where
okay.
Darth Vader there's actually a whole series where he's looking for Padme's grave, his wife, everyone
Okay.
that died, that birthed Luke and Leia. And he like finds like the people, I don't know what they're called, but they're like the people that would disguise as the queen,
Oh,
like the shadow of the Naboo, the shadows.
yeah,
whatever-
I know
whatever
who you're
they're
talking
called.
about. It's that, yeah, in the first Phantom Menace, it was
First Phantom Menace, yes.
Yeah, there was like somebody who would be the decoy version
Yes.
of the queen.
And like
Mhm.
Darth Vader even finds one. He's like thrown off. He's he thinks it's Padme, and obviously they don't know Darth Vader's Anakin Skywalker, but they go on a mission to look for her grave or some secrets. But there's a brilliant panel in comics that Darth Vader is surrounded by a bunch of rebels, and it's like hundreds. He's surrounded by them, and they say, Darth Vader, like, surrender. We have you surrounded. And he like whips out his lightsaber and he says, "All I'm surrounded by is fear and dead men." And he
Yeah,
ignites the lightsaber and
Damn.
slaughters them all. So that on screen,
Yeah.
dude.
And I like that director.
yeah.
That scene in Rogue One,
Oh,
Mm.
where Darth Vader is getting the plans for the Death Star from the white helmety guys.
the rebels.
Is it? But there's like a certain name for those rebels. No, there's a name for the rebels.
You're right. I think they're the ones that specifically protect the queen.
Yeah,
Or
Mhm.
Leia.
the like that is the one point, because it's like almost up until that point you hear about like the awful things that Darth Vader is. Even Order 66, you know what he does with the
Right.
younglings or whatever, but it's all kind of inferred, and
Yeah.
it doesn't happen on screen.
Yeah.
And this is almost the first time that you get to see Darth Vader being
his
that
prime.
ruthless
hmm
badass that
Rogue
he
One
is.
was super dark.
Bro, it was super. Yeah, it was bleak
Mhm.
as hell, because it was the only Star Wars movie that was genuinely about people being scarred from war.
hmm
Yeah.
From war, the Star Wars.
Star-
ta-ta-ta.
He said the thing.
Yeah, it was super bleak, but that scene alone was powerful and so great for that character. And if you could, and even in this Obi-Wan series, I know it was a bit split about how people felt about it. I loved it personally.
Yeah.
There's some things that maybe won't always make sense, whatever, because
Right.
you're retroactively but I just enjoy it for what it is. But like even the scenes of like Darth Vader like longingly looking out of the windows into the depths of space,
Yeah.
and getting that moment where half of his mask is gone, and Hayden Christensen
Yes.
talking about, and that ties into into the original Star Wars, where he's like, "You didn't kill Anakin Skywalker, I did," which is why he
Mhm.
tells Luke that actually Darth Vader killed your father, because
Right.
Darth Vader
the
killed
truth, yeah.
That's
Yeah.
the truth, right? I'm so for it.
Yeah, I'm
I
so
haven't
into
seen
it.
Longlegs. I know Nicolas Cage gives a weird ass performance in it,
Yeah, it's weird.
but it's funny kind of seeing this image because whenever you see the Darth Vader without the helmet,
His white.
yeah, he's got the weird
Yeah.
white face and stuff. I don't know who wrote it. There is a book where at the end there's like what it's like to be Darth Vader. And it's just kind of like a paragraph. And it's in one of the Star Wars books where they deeply describe man. Hold on. Let's see if I can find it.
That AI musical, Star Wars musical, went so hard with the pop punk music.
Oh yeah.
Which one?
Just
Oh
a-
yeah.
Generated like Star Wars musical.
We'll have to post that. Yeah, that for sure is. Let's see. In the Star Wars book, Darth Vader Fallen Jedi.
No, I have it stuck in my head.
Did you?
Is this what it is? Oh man, I gotta find it. I'll come back to it at some point. But it is basically like giving you a like intense detailed description of how the mechanics are keeping him alive.
Mhm.
Oh wow.
Of
That's
like,
cool.
hey, like, you know, because I mean like he's just parts of human body.
Yeah.
And his lungs are collapsed, which is why he's like on that breathing machine. But he's still the most powerful being in the galaxy,
Yeah.
right?
Never heard you talk about Star Wars like this.
Because this is
And it's about time.
Yeah.
just
Welcome to the dark side, brother.
whatever. I like Star Wars. There's been it's a complicated relationship these days with me and Star Wars.
Yeah.
But
Last time Ty talked about it, you were like, I don't give a shit.
I know.
The-
I get dismissed every time I bring up.
I'm
Star
for a
Wars.
Darth Vader movie. This is
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
I'm
Well,
for an Anakin Skywalker film.
Yeah.
that's what they're rumoring is that Hayden Christensen's going to come back for Ahsoka season 2.
Oh,
Mm.
And what would be even better, which would be smart, I don't remember her name. The young girl who plays young Ahsoka, and she's in the Barbie movie that plays America's daughter.
yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
She's playing young Ahsoka. They're like, well, why don't we just show? Everyone loved Hayden Christensen in his Clone Wars armor. Why not show like flashbacks of him and Ahsoka on missions?
Youngify him and stuff.
Yeah, because I mean, they already kind of did in that one little scene, that one episode.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And did you guys ever watch?
I don't want that as much as I want just
No.
a Darth Vader movie.
No,
Yeah.
I know, and I think they're gonna show like he's gonna be a part of it, obviously.
Because let's
Mm.
be honest, Anakin's kind of a little bitch. But Darth Vader is a badass.
Mm.
Did you ever watch?
Anakin Skywalker,
Did you
Drake.
watch Clone Wars? Wow. Did you watch
Darth
Clone Wars?
Vader, Kendrick.
Did you
Huh?
watch Clone Wars?
Yeah, I watched
Wild.
enough of Clone Wars.
Wild.
Like he's a badass in Clone Wars.
Yeah, he
Yeah,
is.
I'm sure he is.
Did you watch Rebels?
No. I mean, I've watched enough of it
So there's the scene.
to decide that maybe it's not the.
It's so good.
Look,
It's so good.
I like the prequels, friend. You don't have to. I'm just telling you, I like the straight up. I do like the prequels.
No, I know, but you'll love Rebels, is what I'm saying. Like, ask Vince; he'll tell
But
you.
is he not a little bitch though? Is Anakin still not always kind of a little like? Hence, why you were not granted the freaking title of master.
Yeah.
You're on the.
I think they want to
council.
bring him back because when the prequels came out, he got so much hate that
Yeah.
it literally kind of ruined his career, and now everyone
Loves him.
him. So they're like, let's
'Cause
let's bring him back.
all the people that did love him were kids. Like
Were
I was,
kids,
I
yeah.
was in 3rd grade when that movie came out.
Yeah.
and I loved it.
Well, it took us a while to appreciate the prequels. I think.
Yeah.
That too.
I think people were just the audience at the time who were that Star Wars audience, and then the prequels came out.
Boomers.
Yeah, it was, but I think now we can look back at it. I just recently watched.
I think it took a long time for people to appreciate them.
Yeah, Phantom Menace. I just watched just the pod racing scene with Finn, my 5-year-old, and he freaking lost his mind over
Mhm.
that. And in watching that, I'm like, holy, this is like really good.
Yeah.
And also, what's really great about those movies is that they're almost like pure imagination. Like
Yeah.
it's like genuinely like weird creatures and worlds, and I don't know what you don't get a lot of anymore. Like nobody's really creating like new species in Star Wars. They're just all kind of deriving off of
Yeah.
all the stuff that George Lucas laid all
Mhm.
that groundwork for. So
Well, George Lucas, though. I mean,
George
he
Lucas.
stole a lot of stuff. It wasn't just like his creativity and his.
yeah, but it was he. And of course, good artists what borrow, great artists
Mhm.
steal, of course. But like, because like Star Wars is not like an original story.
Mm-mm.
It's just kind of a Western set in space.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like, it's the creativity to be like, hey, I can
Make a story out.
make
of
a
it.
story
Yeah.
out of mixing these two genres. And that's oftentimes what the best things tend to be, right? It's just a
Mhm.
mashing of like, this is a familiar story, but I'm giving you a whole new setting that maybe you're not familiar.
Yeah, I'm not
Hamilton.
talking about mixing genres or like anything like that. I mean, like straight up stealing like
From Dune.
plot points. Yeah.
Is that what
from
you're
Dune.
saying?
Yeah, I'm talking about Dune.
You're talking about Dune. Whatever.
Yes.
Whatever.
No, we don't have to get into it. But yes.
Yeah. I mean, but Dune did it good now. They finally corrected it, but it's not like Dune.
Yeah, it took him a while.
In a movie, you mean?
Yeah.
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 I get it. Now you're gonna bag on David Lynch.
But no, I'm not.
No.
I love David Lynch's Dune. I love that movie.
It's just a different type of deal. I get what
Right.
you're talking
It's
about.
different. Yeah. Weird, kind of like the
Star
listening
Wars
to
is like
thoughts.
Muppets mixed with Dune.
No.
Yeah.
Star Wars is
Fraggle Rock
Star Wars is a Western mixed with Dune. Right? He
Yeah.
just took those
with like Fraggle Rock guys in there.
it reminds me of the what was it? The
I
fucking
think Jar Jar Binks is not from Fraggle Rock.
That's true. He could be. Well, I mean, didn't Henson do a lot of the Star Wars stuff
Mhm.
later on?
Yeah.
I mean, it started off as
That's
Rick
why I said
Baker.
Muppets.
Yeah, that's true. It reminds me of The Sopranos, where Chrissy makes that movie Cleaver.
Never watched.
Whatever. No, you neither. Huh? Well, Chrissy
Every
in The
time you do this
Sopranos,
without
in The Sopranos, My Roman Empire.
yes.
Comes up with he wants to be a movie producer. He's a mobster. He's basically the dude who is next in line to take Tony Soprano's throne.
Right.
Wants to be a movie producer, and he has like this friend he met in AA, who's a writer who wrote like freaking Law and Order episodes, and he owes Chrissy a bunch of money. So basically, in order to square off their debt, Chrissy's like, "You're gonna write this movie for me." That fucking movie Saw, which at the time Saw had come out, he's like made fucking over $1 billion, and it barely cost them any money to make. So we're gonna take The Godfather and mix it with Saw. Bam! 2 proven track records, and he makes this movie called Cleaver. I think it's is it Cleaver? It's hilarious, and it's like an ongoing thing. And there's like now, if you're like a deep cut Soprano fan, there's like Cleaver merch out there where there's
That's
like a hat
Funny.
and
Oh
a
my
shirt, and there's
God.
like coffee mugs. Because in the show, they're like, "Hey, here's a Cleaver coffee mug."
I love it.
So I don't know, that's what it is.
God, I love nerds.
Mashing shit up. God. Fucking nerds.
Fucking nerds.
Did we hit all the news?
Mm-hmm.
Is that all the news and stuff? We went on with that news and stuff.
We went on. There was the Clayface thing.
Do we move on? You want
Yeah.
to talk about that?
Oh, you can move on.
We talked about Clayface
We did
last week.
week. We're good.
That was a lot of stuff, guys.
There's a lot of news.
That was news. and
That was
stuff.
That was a lot of stuff.
That was a lot of stuff. Here it is. This is
The data.
we went to a comic store today. Well, I went to a comic store today. In picking up the new book that we will be discussing, Redcoat from Ghost Machine and Image Comics. There's a lot of stuff, and it's so funny because we were like, we're not gonna find any number ones, but apparently there's number ones that came out. But we're still gonna. I'm glad we made a good choice. I think. No. Oh, Siri's talking to me. She was on the podcast, or they were on the podcast, because Siri has no gender assignment. So from Mad Cave Studios, Blade Forger #1 dropped today. These are all comics for the most part that you can confidently walk into your local comic shop, pick up, and ask for. You can pick them up and read them without having any prior pre-existing reading or knowledge of the story. So you can go in, find these #1s. Well, there's a few that you may need some backstory to. The discovery of Corum, the never-seen-before energy source, led to a bloody world war for its control. After years of destruction, the lords of the land agreed to negotiate a ceasefire for lasting peace. The Blade
Are you
Forgers
waiting for a
Treaty.
applause?
No, I don't know. Anyways, the Blade Forgers Treaty was born from that meeting. Sorry, hold on. Let me make this text bigger because I have really bad eyes, y'all. This treaty established the mining of quorum and would be centralized through one government led by a neutral emperor. The emperor would have a blade forger, a mystical swordsman, and claim the title in a tournament called the Tournament of Five Rings. Every 5 years, blade forgers from every corner of the empire would fight for the possibility of becoming the new emperor. A young blade forger named Awada challenges the emperor in the name of the Forsaken People. This is a story of what happens next. From Mad Cave Studios, Blade Forger, written by Inaki Miranda and Roy Miranda. Is it Miranda or Miranda? Sorry. Artist is also Inaki Miranda. Colorist Eva De La Cruz. Letterer Dave Sharp. Just dropped today at your local comic shop. The artwork in this is really nice. The coloring in it is really nice. I'm going to say if you're like a fan of Gladiator 2, specifically, you may really dig Blade Forger, available at your local comic shop from Mad Cave Studios. Go ask for it. Looks really cool.
So you admit that Gladiator 2 is like a comic book.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I didn't ever like say that it wasn't. It was fucking ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's so ridiculous. I mean, the sharks is what did it for me.
Yeah.
You may have noticed, Ty. You may have noticed that I've been drinking from my Darkwing Duck cup.
I have noticed.
I have also noticed.
What's on the bottom of it?
The Darkwing Duck Cycle, whatever they called it. There's like a name for it. Darkwing Duck was a character
Darkwing Duck
introduced.
Cycle.
Whatever they call it. Straight from
He's a
the
fan.
Disney Afternoon. I love Darkwing Duck. I've read a lot of Darkwing Duck. There's a lot of Darkwing Duck comics out there, but if you were a fan of the Disney Afternoon Special, if you were a fan of the Chippendales Rescue Rangers movie, if you just need more Darkwing Duck, as voiced by one Jim Cummings, in your life, or if you need some more Megavolt in your life, Dynamite has released an all-ages new run of Darkwing Duck here, by writer Daniel Kibblesmith. Artist Ted Brandt and Rose Stein. Deirbla Kelly does the colors, and Fabio Amelia does the letters. According to, Diddy's like, give me that Darkwing Duck.
I want it.
According to Image's website, he is the terror that flaps in the night. He is the ferocious fowl who plucks an evil eye from the faces of foul play. He is Darkwing Duck alongside his trusty sidekick, which one of my favorite characters out of all the DuckTales sagas, Launchpad McQuack. Darkwing's hyper vigilante defends Saint Canard from the dastardly devilish demons who would wage wanton war. I don't know why they said wanton war. By night, our Cape Defender lurks the shadows, strikes fear and maybe confusion into the hearts of the criminal underworld. But by day, no one suspects Darkwing Duck is also mild-mannered Drake Mallard. This doesn't explain anything about the comic, but this does explain a lot about Darkwing Duck. He's an adoptive father to Goslin. Basically, it just goes, can Darkwing successfully navigate two separate lives while looking incredibly cool and impossibly handsome? Hint, probably not, but you'll have to read to find out.
Did you guys watch that show when they redid DuckTales with David Tennant?
There was a Darkwing Duck episode.
Yeah, he's in a lot of them, actually.
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
Oh.
Drake Mallard.
Yeah, and Launchpad is voiced by, like, Beck Bennett.
I know Launchpad is on the show.
He's in, like, Darkwing's in a ton of episodes.
And then so is the Robo Duck, the one on the wheel. He's like my favorite.
Yeah, he's
you know what I'm talking
too.
about? No?
I think I know what you're talking about.
It's like the...
And the whole story about how he, like, adopts the Gosling is in the show.
That is, there's like I think it was a 2-part episode of the original Darkwing Duck series that is really good. And it was like really emotional and a little dark, and kind of the origins of the Gosling character and how she became Drake Mallard's ward, if you will. But yeah, there's a the original Darkwing Duck was amazing.
Yeah,
amazing.
This is not like the original. In this, he is a super fan of Darkwing Duck, and then they find out that he's just an actor and it's not like real. But then they like make it real.
In that comic book?
Hmm
Did you just read it or something with it?
No, I watched the show, and this is like a continuation. This is like of the show, and they have like a comic series.
Of the DuckTales show?
Yeah.
That DuckTales show has like 6 seasons now or something, right?
No, it's over. It only has like 3 seasons, and
But-
it's fantastic.
But it has like a crazy amount of episodes.
Yeah, maybe like not enough if you ask me.
No, I watched, I think, like the first season, and I kind of left off where their Huey, Louie, and Dewey's mom kind of comes back, and
Yeah, from
It's
the
really
moon.
good.
It's super good.
yeah,
But yeah,
from the
they're-
moon.
This is but these are the characters like from that show.
Oh.
That's what I mean. You know what I mean?
Interesting.
I did look it up. It is called the Quack Cycle.
Quack
the
Cycle.
Quack Cycle. Thank you. Gosh, I'm so,
New Cycle was in there.
Yeah.
um.
I
wh-
love that it says it's a tricycle too.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, because it's 3. Yeah, it's
three-wheel.
three wheels. There is. I'm sorry that I gotta find it from Dynamite once more. The Herculoids #1.
Oh
drop
yeah,
this
this
week.
was getting some
Dynamite.
hype.
We talked about this
Mhm.
potentially reading this book, and Ty's
Mhm.
like, "No way, guys."
I didn't say that.
You were like, "I'm too cool for this book, The Herculoids."
I never said that.
You hear that, Dynamite? If we don't get this Dynamite sponsorship, it's because of Ty. Building on the success of the critically acclaimed best-selling Space Ghost series, Dynamite Entertainment is proud to bring another beloved Hanna-Barbera classic to readers this February, The Herculoids. I should talk about Space Ghost. Dang it, that's
was
what we
just
missed
gonna
from news
say,
and
yeah,
stuff.
that's-
Okay, we'll get that at the end of the show, actually. Hidden in the furthest reaches of space, the planet Amzat is legendary for its fabled riches and for its terrible fates that befell anybody who seeks to exploit them. Those who survive their encounters tell blood-chilling tales of horrific, imposing monsters that guard the mysterious world. Look, I'm not going to get too deep into this. This is for a fan. Yeah, this is a Hanna-Barbera book turned into there's a really dope Mike Mignola cover for this, by the way, in the first one. Writer Tom Snagoski, artist Craig Russo, colorist Omni Remolante Jr., and letterer Jeff Eckelberry. Those are 4 of the most difficult names to pronounce. But the book looks amazing. I'm in for the Herculoids. Ty, you may be too cool
What is
for
this?
Herculoids.
Damn.
But what's cool about, I'll tell you, I'm going to give props because I flipped through this book to colorist Omni Ramalte Jr. Has like this kind of beautiful vintage finish on everything that kind of makes it feel like an old Hanna-Barbera colored-esque. And the camera's not even doing it justice. But this is available at your local comic shop. Just dropped today. The Herculoids. This is a cover I picked up, but there's like 4 different covers.
That's cover A, yeah.
No, I think cover A is actually the Mike Mignola one,
Oh, okay.
but it's rated teen, as you can see by the cover. See the colors I'm talking about?
Sure.
Sure.
Another. You see those colors?
Oh.
Another thing that I picked up. This is a random thing from Marvel. What if Mickey and Friends became the Avengers? Yes, this is a real comic. If you're fans of Disney and Mickey and Friends and the Avengers, well, let me tell you something. There may be a comic book that you may want to pick up. I have a feeling there's a really cool cover, by the way, of Pluto because he's Ant-Man shrinking. I have a feeling at some point these comics are going to come into play within the collector's market. I'm not that collector, so I just fucking throw this thing around. But exactly what it sounds like. Avengers, Ducks, Guardians, and Loki. Oh my. Donald Duck is Thor, Mickey Mouse is Iron Man, Goofy is the Hulk, Minnie Mouse is, and Pluto are the Wasp and Ant-Man. Why does Minnie Mouse get teamed up with Pluto as the Wasp and Ant-Man?
Right.
How did
Why didn't they make her Black Widow or something?
I don't know. How did these
Yeah.
sensational superheroes become the mighty Avengers? And what does Cake Monster?
Daisy Duck and Donald Duck.
Right.
That team up doesn't work.
I don't know. Look, I didn't write the book.
Who's
Uh,
Loki?
Anyways, you can find out in this hilarious mashup of Marvel and Disney's greatest characters, available at your local comic shop today. Also, here's some non-number ones, but we have talked about some of these other books. Hyde Street #4 came out.
Yeah.
We do have a really cool interview with Geoff Johns. With Geoff Johns on Hyde Street there. Sorry. But you can probably find, and it's so funny because we have a signed issue 1 that at
That's
the
a-
end,
or my bad.
this is going to be our next giveaway, by the way. We do have a signed by Danny Mickey and Geoff Johns in a comic capsule copy of Hyde Street #1 that we are going to give away on our social media platforms. We're going to clip up some stuff on this episode, and I will tell you by just sharing some of those clips, you'll have an opportunity to win. But Hyde Street is basically homage to what they say, like Night Gallery, Twilight Zone,
Yes.
all these kind of like great cautionary sort of anthology serials. It's a new epic era in character-centered horror beginning from Ghost Machine. Hyde Street is a new ongoing series from Geoff Johns and Ivan Reis, the team famously for Blackest Night, Green Lantern, Aquaman. In every city and town, off every country road and every metropolis avenue, if you make the wrong turn, you might find yourself on Hyde Street. Issue 4 of that is out now. I want to say I didn't have too hard of a time at my local comic shop finding some of the other issues.
Mhm.
It's not a high print book, but it's definitely worth reading. If you want to track them down, you can track them down. It's still early, so you can jump in on it. We did do a see. Look, I found the other Hyde Street.
Oh, nice.
Maybe we'll give it all away as a set.
There you go.
Who knows? Hyde
You
Street.
guys, Daisy Duck is Loki.
Oh.
Ah.
I had to figure it out.
Yeah. Titty's just like reading a comic this entire
I'm
time.
sorry.
Issue 4 of Day of the Dead Girl dropped this week.
Nice.
Nice.
Issue 4 of Day of the Dead Girl is from AJ Mendez and Amy Garcia and Belin Culebras. We did a whole episode on this. This is from Magma Comics. I want to say too that there's a Kickstarter to where you can pre-order this like hardcover. If you guys don't know who AJ Mendez is, famously known as AJ Lee, currently married to WWE superstar CM Punk, former women's champion in WWE to her own right. Quick synopsis of Day of the Dead Girl issue 1. Smaller press book. You may be able to find some of them on Magma. I want to say they even have signed things. Amy and AJ, I was lucky enough to go to 2 of their signings because they collaborated with Golden Apple at some of their signings as well as Magma. And they are super awesome to every one of their fans.
Mhm.
Classy women. And Day of the Dead Girl is an amazing book. If you could find these in single issues, definitely worth tracking down. If you can't find them in single issues, pretty sure Magma is going to be releasing the trade, the deluxe hardcover with a bunch of stuff. Yeah.
Kickstarter does have the ability to do late pledges. So everything
Oh.
you just said, you can't. There's a very limited amount, but you can do some special dust jacket, hardcover edition, Kickstarter exclusive,
Yeah.
et cetera.
They have a lot of really cool exclusives. But basically, it's about coroner Sam Castillo will learn the hard way when her supernatural serial killer targets her hometown. Just as she moves back, that death is never the end of a story. So she's basically a skeptical woman of science, but her mom is like extremely spiritual and into like Dia de los Muertos, brujeria, and all those things. So really cool within like the Latin culture, and that brujerismo kind of element is brought in there. A little bit of what would I compare this to? It's definitely a murder mystery. Dang it, there was something specifically that I kind of wanted to kind of compare to, but it's okay. Either way, it's its own original story. Basically, yeah, the town's Day of the Dead festival is interrupted, and it turns into an occult bloodbath, as if sharing a bathroom with her mom wasn't hard enough. Day of the Dead Girl issue 4 just dropped at your local comic shop. If you can find them in single issues for Magma Comics, definitely find these single issues. If not, go check out Magma Comics' website. And it's Magma Comics with an X. Magma, liquid hot magma
I knew you were going to do that.
comics with an X because, why would you want to spell things traditionally? Take that, society. I also randomly just picked up this copy of 8 Billion Genies. I don't know. This is a book that's been out for some time, but I'm just going to read issue 1 from Charles Soule.
Yes.
Yeah. And Ryan Brown, 8 billion genies. This is collected in trade already. But basically, if you had one wish, what would you wish for? Now, what if everyone else had one wish too? That's 8 billion genies in this new. It's an 8-part series. That exact same moment that everyone on Earth gets a genie and one wish. What the fuck would happen? All hell breaks loose.
Yeah.
In a very entertaining way. And that's just the beginning. Buckle in for one of the wildest rides of the year. Yeah. So I just picked that up because I found this is an 8th printing, I think.
Yes.
No, a
that's-
4th printing. I'm sorry. This got a lot of printings. This book had a lot of momentum behind it. But I just thought it was cool to pick up one of the single issues. They had, I think, the 2nd printing and stuff as well. That was a little higher price, but I was like, I really dig this cover. And this art style, by the way, from Ryan Brown is a lot of fun. So that's the haul. And of course, we picked up Redcoat, which is the issue at hand. We're going long. Man, this new format.
I know.
This we thought we were gonna tighten this shit up around here, but no. We're going long, I guess.
We had a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Diddy's got a diabetic dog she's got to get to, y'all.
Yeah.
That's not a joke.
Sorry, Jiffy.
No, Jimmy will be fine, right? No.
Oh my god.
She needs insulin. It's okay. It's fine.
Okay, this is a new format.
This is okay. So this trade dropped. Once more, when you hear some of the names, Geoff John, Brian Hitch, Andrew Curry, Brad Anderson, Rob Lee, you do think of DC. So this is really interesting. Geoff Johns. This is the issue at hand, or what we're going to start calling. Here's the issue of this episode. Geoff Johns famously wrote a lot of comics and helped revitalize DC Comics at a time when they really needed it. And he brought like the original 52. I think he was there as maybe the head of DC when not Identity Crisis was Ed Brubaker. No, it wasn't. I'm not sure who wrote Identity Crisis, but he brought Hal Jordan, the Green Lantern, back into DC Comics. Basically, DC's canon had basically come all the way from their Silver Age, from the 70s and the 80s. It was like one long recurring story, and they had made a lot of weird decisions, not bad decisions. It just the characters developed, and he brought back a lot of beloved characters, and probably was one of the greatest superhero writers of his time. Geoff Johns' name carries weight within the comic community. I loved his Green Lantern Rebirth run. Once more, Infinite Crisis was amazing. Who wrote Identity Crisis?
I'm looking it up. It says Meltzer.
I wanted Brad Meltzer, right?
Meltzer, yeah.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Identity Crisis is basically just like
2004.
yeah. Oh yeah, 2004. Is that when it's from?
Yeah.
No way. I guess I have those single issues. Oh yeah, Michael Turner did all the cover art. Basically, but this isn't Geoff Johns, but
Geoff Johns did the Green Lantern, Sinestro, the Flash Rebirth,
oh yeah, the Flash Rebirth.
Flashpoint Beyond.
Yeah, the Flashpoint story. Absolutely.
Yes.
And what's crazy is that Flashpoint story. So basically, a lot of the stuff that you saw the DC movies try to follow as far as stories, I think he created the Parallax character.
I believe so,
the
yeah.
Parallax character that was stuck. The reason the Green Lanterns were weak to the color yellow was because the yellow of fear, the Parallax was trapped in their giant battery source. Geoff Johns has done a lot for the industry. Famously, we got to interview Geoff Johns, but what I did not, there's a little bit of controversy around Geoff Johns because he was around Joss Whedon at the time of Time made a face like, ugh. He was around Joss Whedon at the time of the reshoots for the Justice League movie. And here's the thing is I can't, although the Green Lantern movie wasn't great, the theatrical cut of the Justice League movie wasn't great. I think Geoff Johns was kind of the consultant for Warner Brothers at the time. And there's even a story of a beef that him and Ray Fisher kind of had of like him wanting Ray Fisher to say booyah because that Ray Fisher played.
I remember this.
Right. And there was like it. So but here's it. It's a tough one because he's such a talented writer. There's so much more to the story, and although we interviewed him about Hyde Street, I didn't touch on those things because I'm not gonna.
Well, yeah.
I'm like, I don't. We're not there yet, right?
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
talking about your book now. I'm a fan of your writing because his writing is phenomenal. So there's just, I'm so curious as to why there wasn't more success or why his really awesome comic book stories and characters didn't properly translate over to the movies.
Mm-hmm.
Did you have something to add to this, Ty?
No, I'm looking up. Sorry, I'm like multitasking here.
No, no worries.
Variety, Jeff Johns. This is back in 2001, talking about he's still with, again, back in 2001, he was still with Warner Media despite Ray Fisher's claim. Writers leaving studio. This is on Variety. So
This is 2021, though, not 2001.
I'm sorry, 2021.
Yeah,
sorry.
yeah. He was the, like, I don't know if he was the head of DC for some time as well. Like I said, super talented writer, came up with some of the best modern stories for DC Comics. And he actually, you know what? He got his claim to fame, I want to say, was Teen Titans, which was Cyborg. His Teen Titans run was amazing. Yeah, Jeff Johns, and he also had a really awesome JSA run.
Yeah.
Jeff Johns was
Yeah.
He did the whole rebirth. Yeah.
yeah. Jeff Johns was a really. I mean, still, what am I talking about? I'm talking about for DC. He was a powerhouse, and maybe if we get the opportunity, him willing to talk about it, I would love to talk to Jeff Johns a little bit about and pull the curtain behind that, because I don't think there's even been a lot. I kind of fell down some Reddits and subreddits, but there's not a lot of clarification on the Jeff Johns. I don't understand how that Green Lantern movie wasn't better, because Jeff Johns was a consultant in it,
Mhm.
and it's like, who? I can't blame. It can't be him.
No.
Like
No.
Warner Brothers execs, I'm pretty sure
had the final
had a
say.
lot
Yeah.
of final say.
Final edit too, probably.
Yeah.
Right, Jeff Johns was and they were probably like, "Oh, you're just the comic book guy." But I don't know. Jeff, if you want to come on the show, clear the air,
Yeah.
let's talk. I would love to do that, actually, because how are you probably the best writer that DC had at the time?
Right.
And then when you're kind of switching over to be part of the film world, it just didn't pan out as well. But you know what? I guess the same could be said for Jeff Loeb.
Fair.
Jeff Loeb was an amazing comic book writer who took over Marvel's TV department, and that wasn't necessarily when Marvel was known for their TV.
Correct.
But he and his creative team developed a company called Ghost Machine, and Ghost Machine is now distributed through Image Comics, and I think their website is Ghost Machine Pro. And one of the first things that they dropped, so they have other books. Hyde Street is one of the things we talked about. Geiger, Hornsby, and Halo, Rockefellers is out in your local comic shops now. And this was one of their first books, which is trade dropped, and it's called Redcoat. The synopsis reads: British soldier and all-around rogue Simon Pure has led quite an exciting life, or lives, really. After a failed assassination of General George Washington, at the Battle of Trenton in 1776, Simon stumbles upon hooded figures performing a bizarre ritual that accidentally gave him immortality. Since that fateful day, Simon has died and returned countless times over, rubbing elbows and sometimes fists with history's most renowned figures, including his nemesis Benedict Arnold, Albert Einstein, and many more. I know, it sounds crazy. But what are the true origins and extent of Simon's powers and the clandestine cabal behind them? The clandestine cabal behind them. And how does this group intend to use him to destroy America? Simon aims to find out, even if it finally kills him. This collects Redcoat 1 through 7 with some material from Geiger, their 80-page giant issue number 1. So Redcoat also extends. Oh, look, and this timeline is here. So Jeff Johns and crew made a new shared universe. Some of the other things that gives you a nice little timeline of Geiger, First Ghost, Junkyard Joe, the Northerner begins his hunt. So you kind of get a really interesting breakdown of this new universe that they're creating. And we read the first issue of Redcoat. Ty's got that there. Did he?
Yeah.
Why should we read Redcoat?
If you like history, some cool like occult magic kind of stuff.
Highlander.
Highlander. It reminds me of something that I cannot think of. I've been trying to think of it the entire
Hamilton.
time. No, but
Okay.
yeah, a little.
Well, because it has a little fun with some of the history and
It does
making-
have
yeah.
with like, important figures, obviously. I mean, literally right when you open it, I thought my first thought was Hamilton, but that's because I'm,
yeah
I'm trash.
obsessed with Hamilton. No, or
Or-
cultured.
Cultured.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I love it.
But yeah, I loved it. It's very like quick cuts, like
Yeah.
especially when it's once he goes to the future or present day rather, I like those quick cuts of him having like, little scraps all throughout history.
Yeah,
And it'll be like 1709, 1892 and like just showing him getting the same mischief over and over again.
yeah.
I kind of like it, but I can't think of what it reminds me of. You drive me nuts.
Oh, Quantum Leap. Not Quantum Leap. Because right, doesn't he like move into different bodies in Quantum Leap? But I mean, this is I don't know,
Yeah,
a little bit of that vibe.
something, but he's like a mercenary, I think, throughout time.
Yeah,
That's what he does.
Yeah, he is. I love like also like yeah.
Maybe he reminds me of Deadpool. I don't know. He can't die, and
Yeah.
he's like a little scoundrel.
Yeah.
Just
It-
getting in trouble all throughout history.
Are you into this book?
Yeah,
Are you-
I'm definitely into it. I want to borrow the trade.
Well, you're gonna have to fight me. for it, 'cause
Okay.
I have to get through it myself because I am
No, I'll
hooked.
borrow it after. I am hooked too. I want to, and I was like immediately interested after the timeline. I was like, oh, this is like multiple books. Like, do you have to read them tandem? I just got really interested right
Yeah,
away.
I have Junkyard Joe.
Okay, maybe I'll read that first.
Uh,
I have Geiger.
you have Geiger?
Not the tray, but I have issues.
Oh,
of
really?
Geiger, yeah, when that first came out. Because they had, so when Geiger came out, I didn't know a whole lot about like Ghost Machine. I just knew the title looked fun. I was the one that judged the book by the cover, but they had fun covers like glow in the dark,
yeah,
blank text covers. They
this
had
wraparound cover.
It's beautiful wraparound cover. This comic.
Yeah.
So yeah, I was telling Pablo I didn't know this was like a whole. It's called the expanded universe, the unnamed universe.
The unnamed,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I love that. That gets me in.
yeah.
It's like really
Why
cool.
isn't it named?
Well, you know what was really cool is so I went and bought the trade and I realized the shop like Redcoat flew under the radar. I feel like people kind of saw
Oh,
it and they're
yeah.
like, "What is this?" But the people who know, and I love like Jeff Johns is such a great writer, and it was really cool, obviously seeing him play in the sandbox of DC. But I love kind of seeing him break out of that
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
and
full creative control.
full
right?
creative control,
Yeah.
creating his own insane universe. Yeah, I love the history elements to it,
Yeah.
and then like the fiction supernatural weirdness to it.
Yeah.
Ty, why would you say people should read Redcoat?
So I'll tell you right now, what this reminds me of. Our little protagonist right here. This is
We got to cut your camera. Oh yeah, all right.
um,
Oh yeah, that's a cool.
this is a cool panel.
Yeah.
It's a Captain America esque, right?
Captain America, but dude, I will say, this reminds me of Jack Sparrow. His
The
character,
Oh,
his character.
just a little scoundrel.
Just a little scoundrel, but he's he's a smooth talker trying to talk his way out of situations.
Yeah,
You know,
Getting slapped by every single woman that
Yeah.
throughout history.
El
exactly.
Dorado.
You got it.
Yeah, there you go. But no, like the art in here is phenomenal. I love the little occult
Element to it.
elements to it.
Yeah.
Oh, John Hancock.
John
Fucking
Hancock.
Benjamin Franklin.
Dude, it's like just the right amount of like, I don't want to say like corny, but man, these one-liners get me.
Yeah.
Like
The dialogue's funny.
the dialogue's funny, the art is amazing, but come on, you see, God doesn't need to bless America, Paul. We do.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
there's
That
Yeah.
doesn't hook you. Something's up.
He
Look
is-
at that.
one of my favorite lines ever in DC. I think it was Identity. It wasn't. I don't remember it was like Elongated Man, and I can't remember who else, and I want to say this was Geoff Johns, unless I'm just thinking of Identity Crisis. No, it was Vance Giver, but they were like sitting or whatever, and he's like basically elongated man's like, I'm just sitting up here on the rooftop. He's like, what are you doing? He's like, well, I'm just listening to my nose, or whatever. He's like, it'll tell me if there's like crime afoot. And somebody like one of the other characters who's talking to him, he's like, Green Arrow told me that, that's just like a gimmick, that you just work that gimmick and that your nose really has no power to sense any danger around. And it's like just a beat of a panel of him like staring at the other character. And then the next panel is like, Green Arrow has a bald spot on the back of his head. That's why he wears that little Peter Pan hat. It's like, and it's just like it's clever writing, and I'm 99% sure that was Geoff Johns. He has some really funny, interesting ways into some characters there, and yeah. So you're right. The dialogue is funny.
You know what it kind of reminds me of, actually, in such a weird way, is when Guy Ritchie did that King Arthur.
Oh my
thing.
god,
You know
yeah.
what I mean? It's just like out of place, but it's like works, and it's like funny, and the quick cuts, and like the magic mixed in with like reality.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. I agree. It does feel Guy Ritchie-esque.
Right?
Yeah. It's like if Guy Ritchie teamed up with the Quantum Leap people that also teamed up the people who did Highlander.
Yeah, and then maybe
Uh,
what? Oh my God! What about Sherlock Holmes? Guy Ritchie did that.
Yeah, oh
He
yeah.
did.
because he did that
So
whole.
what you're saying is Guy Ritchie needs to direct
Yes.
The
the
Redcoat live
Redcoat
action.
live action.
I'm for this unnamed universe.
Dude.
Everything that I'm
too.
getting from Ghost Machine, like High Street was one of them. Rockefellers was really good. I picked that up. I have Hornsby and Halo. It's sitting in my stack of comics over there. But yeah, I didn't. And it's funny. I picked up issue 1 of Redcoat when it came out. I was like, okay, I'll check it out. Geoff Johns, and I didn't read it until this trade. But I'm like, I slept on
You
this.
slept on this. I think
Yeah.
we all did. I mean,
I think a lot of people slept on this. But yeah, it's fantastic.
Yeah, I'm into it a
I'm
lot.
into it, and it's funny because I love like silly alternate realities of history. Because
Mhm.
like, say what you want to say about the movie, but I loved Abraham Lincoln Vampire Slayer,
Into it.
and that's what this kind of reminds me of. It's like, oh wait, Paul Revere's in this, and he has like superpowers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or like Wild Wild West.
Wild Wild
like
West.
weird stuff like that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
it's like all the, like they're historic figures, but it's like that's Albert Einstein.
That
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
All these cameos. It's like a Marvel movie. All these cameos.
All these
I know. We're gonna at some point. I gave Diddy Manhattan Projects. That's a fun one.
Yeah, I'm gonna read that.
Similarly weird. What I'll tell you guys too. What's cool about this and is if you read like the credits, their approach is like very much the old school kind of way of like they have like the penciler and then the inker, right? And I think like
Mhm.
inker's kind of recently kind of gotten lost a little bit within comics because it's like now a lot of artists can do things digitally
Yeah.
and you don't have that reliance on inkers as much. But what inkers do bring of like creating light and shadow,
Yeah, for sure.
you can tell.
Oh,
Yeah.
100%.
Like there's it's like almost the difference between like hand-drawn animation versus CG two-dimensional animation. You can tell that little bit of extra love that adds that
Shrek.
detail.
Shrek 1, Shrek 5.
Diddy, what are you talking about? But yeah, she has.
No, you can definitely tell.
Yeah, even in High Street, they have Danny Mickey, and this one, Andrew Curry and Brian Hitch are the inkers, and then Brad Anderson does colors, right? So he has like a full team of people that do stuff, and I think that really shows through the art. I don't know.
Yeah, absolutely.
Any other? So what would you compare this? So you're saying Jack Sparrow, Diddy. You're saying
Guy Ritchie.
Guy Ritchie
yeah.
esque. Yeah. Basically, Redcoat is it's a pretty interesting blend of history and adventure. If you're into those sort of things, it has supernatural elements. The comic follows an immortal soldier, hence the elements of kind of a little Highlander-ish. I don't know why I keep going back to that, but I don't know something about it. And basically it starts with the American Revolution and kind of goes through every major war through history. Yeah, Geoff Johns' storytelling, it's just sharp, I guess is the best way I can describe it.
It's clever.
Yeah,
Sharp,
clever.
super dynamic artwork. The series delivers basically just nonstop great pacing, action packed. Pretty great character development from what I can tell.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then just a pretty unique perspective on history. So, like, yeah, if you love time-spanning epics, mysterious protagonists, with a fresh twist on historical fiction, then definitely Redcoat is worth reading. I mean, are you guys going to continue here?
Yeah,
Are you in? Are
absolutely.
you sold?
I'm sold.
Any other thing that you would say to recommend this book to anybody else?
Uh,
I don't. I mean, I don't.
no, I don't know either.
How does it make you feel? You have to pee, Olivia. Is that what's going on? You feel
No,
like?
on my tailbone.
Oh,
I'm sitting up.
the longest
Stretching my
running
back.
narrative on our show is Olivia's broken butt.
Yeah. Day one.
Day one. That was our opening. I think that was like one of our opening conversations.
It
Yeah.
was.
Go back and watch those episodes. Don't go back and watch those episodes. We've gotten better since then. But Olivia's butt's
We
been,
do talk about my butt a lot.
Olivia's butt's been broken for some time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
10 months.
That you can't cast your butt.
No, there's nothing you can do about a broken butt. Gotta
Unfortunately, no.
deal with it.
Unfortunate.
Yeah, but I don't know. I loved it.
You're recommending it to people.
I'm recommending
Go
it to
out there and
people.
pick it up. Most importantly, go check out this hot Cheeto shaped like Charizard, though.
Most importantly.
Before actually, no, not most importantly. Before we wrap up, there is.
Speaking of ghosts.
Yeah, speaking of
Oh, yeah.
oh my gosh, time with the freaking segues.
All right, that's all I got, guys. Good night. I'm done.
Speaking of ghosts, yes, we had a passing of George Lowe. Let me see if I can pull up the image here. I'm pretty sure I have it. There- no,
Not that.
don't pull up the Harambe. Is that what you're saying right now? George Lowe famously, most famously for me, anyways, was the voice actor who voiced Space Ghost. Not fuck. That's right. I've said this is terrible. I apologize.
You have it on that side.
There we go. This tripped me out because I looked up this factoid. Space Ghost Coast to Coast was a show on Adult Swim that paved the way for Adult Swim's absurd sort of humor that they developed in the early 2000s or mid to early 2000s, with shows like Aqua Teen Hunger Force, Squidbillies. But Space Ghost Coast to Coast was a classic Hanna-Barbera character, Space Ghost, hosting a talk show.
I love that show.
It was so good. George Lowe's voice was the voice of my late night adolescence because it was a late night talk show.
Yeah.
And he had the most random guests that would come. Like,
Yeah.
he had like major guests.
Yeah.
Hold on. Let's pull up some of the names of Space Ghost guests. But he was accompanied by some of the other characters from Space Ghost, such as Zorak, Moltar, Brack. Famously got a spinoff, the Brack Show. Here we go. Movie Web has the weirdest Space Ghost stars. Dr. Drew Pinsky was on the show.
The
Joyce Brothers, Buzz Aldrin.
Yeah, Buzz Aldrin was on it.
Jerry Springer interviewed by the Space Ghost character. Timothy Leary. Wow,
Yeah.
Timothy
Whoa.
Leary is on the show. Jonathan Richmond, Fred Cracklin, Billy Mitchell, Lassie, the dog that played Lassie,
Oh.
and Triumph the Insult Comic Dog. Yeah, Movie Web. But like, great guest, weird show, ran for a long freaking time.
Mm-hmm.
But rightfully so. Like I said, it really did pave way for some of the weirdness and funniness that came from Adult Swim at that time. At this, yeah, somebody took a risk and said, "Hey, let's get a freaking talk show hosted by the most random, unknown Hanna-Barbera superhero."
Yeah.
And it was voiced
Wow.
by one Mr. George Lowe. Let me see if I can. Also, other. Are you looking for other stuff he's done?
No, I'm just like looking at all the people that were on the, like, speaking of Conan O'Brien,
Yeah, Conan was on the show.
Jork, the Bee Gees.
Yeah, you could say that there without Space Ghost, there would have been no Sea Lab 2021, no Aqua Teen
Mhm.
Hunger Force,
Yeah.
none of that stuff, because it really did kind of say, hey, there's a submarket of kids that are extremely high in the middle of the night
Mhm.
that want to watch shit like this. And they were right. And George Lowe has a piece of TV history. He has a piece of my youth that I can say, yeah, was many nights where I was high, and
Yeah. Said
and,
teenager.
and yeah, just that stone teenager. Um, and if you have a chance, if you've never watched the show, definitely go get a good watch. It's worth your time.
Because he just passed away, right?
Yeah, he just passed away in let's see. This is according to AV Club. I'm gonna pull up his. So George Lowe, voice actor for the cult favorite Adult Swim series Space Ghost Coast to Coast, has died. A representative confirmed to the AV Club Friends reported Lowe had been suffering from an illness for some time before his death on Sunday. He was 67 years old. George Lowe's family has been grief-stricken and unable to respond regarding his passing on March 2nd, 2025. Until now, the actor's family shared the statement with the AV Club on the Wednesday. George had an elective heart surgery and he recovered. He's met with many challenges over the past few months. His family and friends have been by his side to support and care for him. The family will honor his wishes of his exceptional life with a private celebratory service. Lowe was a voice actor best known for his roles in the titular Space Ghost Cartoon Network show, later Adult Swim series. The talk show spoof revived the 60s era Hanna-Barbera superhero to conduct interviews with live guests, including some of the Jim Carrey was on the show, Tyra Banks, Sarah Jessica Parker. The influential cult comedy ran for more than 10 years and spawned various spin-offs, including The Brack Show, Aqua Teen Hunger Force, Perfect Hair Forever, and one of my personal favorites, Harvey Birdman, Attorney at Law. Lowe reprised his role for Space Ghost in many of those programs, further lending his voice for projects like Aqua Teen Hunger Force, movie film for theaters, and Robot Chicken. Space Ghost writer and voice actor MC Chris shared on Twitter, or X, that in 2023, Lowe had been suffering from those health issues. Just go check out the AV Club article. But yeah, moment of silence for George Lowe. Okay, well, man, I hate to leave us on a sad note, but it's not.
Yeah.
Look,
What the hell?
it's sad when a very influential and hilarious person like George Lowe passes away.
Mm-hmm.
But the one thing I will say is that he is for sure immortalized in those episodes. And as ridiculous as the show is, if you've never seen it, it is worth your time. Go watch it. You want a good laugh. You want to honor his legacy. Definitely some of his best work out there for you to go see.
All right, brogies.
All right, brokers. Yeah,
Brogurs?
that's it. You can find me here at the versus Nerdcast. Sorry. Till next time, be kind, read, and always wish you.
Fantasies of God.